Here we go.
Hello and welcome everybody to the Place to Be Reviews Live. Etep right here with you, joined by my fellow horsemen monoTony and Fiskowitz. Chris himself, what's going on? Chris is dropping bombs on Twitter. Tony's over there making noise. What's going on, everybody? Welcome.
Hey. Great to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you guys. It's kind of an impromptu thing. We had Godzillionaire and Papa. It always trips me out because you can't see the emojis on the StreamYard side.
Yeah, it just says Gash.
Gashman. Yeah, Cage.
Hold on a second. I agreed I would only come on here if Jake Tapper and Dana Bash were on the panel and we had no audience and I get an earpiece and a syringe full of meth and a little, just a little bit of adrenochrome. None of my demands are being met. I'm just, I'm a little hurt. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm a little hurt.
Yeah. That whole situation is just weird, man.
And it's like the only one that fucking feels me up in this motherfucker is Lurch. The rest of y'all, you don't know what it's like to be president.
What up, Lurch? What up, Hicks Villain? Hail Gap After Dark. What's up, Trina? That's Mrs. Co-host to you. We had a good show. We had a good show last night. Have you guys ever seen the? I know Tony hasn't. Chris, have you ever watched The Burning?
Is that the sequel to The Itching?
It may as well have been. I didn't. I didn't know that George Costanza was in it, and was not only in it, but one of the main comedic characters. And it was fucking great, dude. He had hair, he was quippy, he was perverted, he was selling porn, and stock quotes, so they were porn quotes. That's a Seinfeld joke, you uncultured swines. I figured the other Jew on the fucking panel would get that, but I guess. But no, thank you everybody for being here. And I see we've already got a super chat.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Godzillionaire, channel member Godzillionaire, who sent us Ron Gashman, that has provided us with so much fun. Hail to those of you watching over on X. Yeah, brutal. We're you've probably got a link incoming there, sir. Godzillionaire, his super chat. Tony's only here to drop the hard R in Wiggler.
It's the only way to say Wiggler. It's either go big or go home.
Yeah, we were samurai and sheep.
Oh, we'll talk about that on the other side, because for $2, Godzillionaire has paid to make the ladies dance, so dance they shall.
Self high five.
We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of our creation. What we'll see, will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view right.
All of these chicks are old now.
Why do you
Don't
have to
ruin this
it?
for me.
Why do you have to fucking ruin it? Bro, he fucking ruined it, bro.
They've got those Ozempic ovaries at this point.
At least wait until I'm finished.
Yeah. Gap says he watched the horror stream last with Trina this morning. It was really good. I almost forgot about the movie The Burning. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed. It was a blast. And on June 4th, which is a Tuesday, we will be celebrating Tyler's birthday on a very special episode of Tuesday Night Terrorvision. We'll be doing a live watch of Drive Through. So yeah. That'll be fun. We'll watch and review that on June 4th for Tyler's birthday spectacular right here on Tuesday Night Terrorvision. But tonight, the terror is centered around an octogenarian who happens to have the key to the nukes and can't complete a 13-second video without 17 jump cuts. I just talked for roughly around 20 seconds uninterrupted without more than a brief pause in between. And Joe Biden can't even do that. I mean, this is the mental faculties of this fucktard.
Yep.
God.
He had more jump cuts than that clip of Randy Savage where he's just inhaling.
Dude, it's like at this point, like we were kind of talking about it on the other side of the camera, bro, before we jumped on here live. I don't like Trump has nothing to lose by not debating this guy at this point. Like, because he really, I'm not one to buy into polls, but I do know generally they favor the left.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like destroying Joe Biden in most of these polls. And it's just the sentiment. I mean, you don't see many people going from the liberty side to the other side, to the left. And when they are, they're usually rhinos anyway that we don't want around. And I still, I have my thoughts on the 2020 election and the shadow campaign and all that good stuff. But I don't know, man. I really don't feel like he even needs to take this debate. And unless they allow him to set the terms of the second debate, because all those demands, like, can you imagine challenging someone to a fight and just right away they're like, all right, let's go, motherfucker. And then you come out with a list of, okay, but the fight has to be right here. And all of my friends have to be around and we can't have any other witnesses. Like, no. You called me out, motherfucker. So either debate me or don't.
Well, you also have to have both hands tied behind your back, and only my friends will let you know when you can swing at me.
Yeah. Like, Jake Tapper is one of the moderators. Like, that guy has had unhinged TDS for a long time. And you're talking about muting Trump's mic when it's not his turn, which that's going to turn into, they're going to give him a strict 1 minute
if that
window to explain his entire foreign policy, and they will let Biden go over. And people will notice, and people will point it out. It'll be talked about on Twitter, and absolutely nothing will be done about it.
Yeah, well, he'll be interrupted too during it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'll agree to your terms as long as I set the terms for the second debate. And even the problem then is, if they agree to that, Biden will just drop out of the second debate. So,
well, here's my take, and this could be tinfoil hat, but like, I foresee if these terms are not agreed to, or if they're, it's basically like it's kind of like when Trump brought in his own camera and showed the debate. Showed an interview, and like we got to see like the mainstream version of it, and then he like literally posted the real interview and all of the parts that were cut out and stuff. Yeah. And it was like a night and day thing. I think what will happen is he'll attempt to do something like that, and it'll be blocked. Like it'll be somehow thwarted, and what we'll see basically is either a Shinzo Abe moment or a JFK moment, because they don't want this man will not be in, he will not be the next president. They've made it abundantly clear that they will do whatever it takes to make that not happen. So it's either going to be that, or we're going to see some catastrophic crisis manufactured before the debate, which will allow Biden to withdraw.
I feel like, there are times I have my doubts, man, but there are other times where the will of the American people is so strong that I don't know if they can continue this or not. Like, again, Uncle Teddy once said, it's their mission, it's their goal to make us feel completely hopeless. And I don't want to give them that satisfaction. Like, all hope isn't lost yet, because if it was, they wouldn't need to pull these dirty tactics that they're pulling. They could openly have firing squads, and there's nothing any of us could do about it if all hope was lost. I think if we keep pushing, I think they'll break down before we will.
Dude, firing squads don't pay taxes. So it's not that they want despair. They just want us to not, they want us to be the good little cows that go into the slaughterhouse.
Well, that's it. They lulled us into complacency.
Exactly.
With amenities. It's the tail. It's like the was that the time traveler, the Eloy and the Morlock.
Yep.
As it were. That's basically a perfect analogy for the way that they look at us. Is the Morlock feed on the complacent, lazy, gluttonous Eloy as they live a life of basic, almost luxury, but leisure, with no real responsibilities other than to eat, and then go underground when they hear the toll, the sound. I can't remember what kind of sound it was, and then the Morlock feast on all them that go underground when they hear it.
Yep.
And that's basically what they look at us like, is we are the Eloy. We had a $5 super chat from Scotsman TV. Oh, yeah, the ladies, they summon the madness. You can't handle the madness. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Scotsman TV, for that $5 super chat, brother. Much appreciated. For a $5 super chat, the ladies shall danceth again.
The dance of the bachelor, letting the water fall. The dance of the bachelor, seems so pitiful. Happily ever after. How can I ask for more? A lifetime of laughter at the expense of a death of a bachelor.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scotsman, for that. And I much prefer that to rap music most of the time. I mean, if I want to see women dancing, I don't want it to be to that. It's got to be a certain. Anyway. No, we've become a complacent society, and that's what everything. The instant gratification has kind of lulled us into. There are, those that aren't into that complete fucking aura of just being spellbound by jingling car keys,
But I do think we were a complacent society, but slowly, I mean, I can talk about how crazy things have gotten since like 2016 and how we're at the point of lawfare and everything. But also, so many have woken up. Like, I remember in 2016 trying to talk to people, and like, mostly they were still, again, complacent. They were still asleep, but people are waking up, man. They really are. And
honestly,
I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. I have faith in the American people. At the end of the day, I do, because we're not the Russians. We're not Vietnam or even the Chinese. I have faith. I still believe in the founding fathers' vision, and I think their vision was far more genius than we realize. I mean, look at all the damage they've tried to do to this country, but we're still holding strong.
This Guaylo don't think that we the Chinese. Who do you think bought out your politician? But no, the thing is like, until I see like a militia like raffle stomping a federal agency, we haven't woken up. We haven't stood up. We have like words and bitching on the internet is exactly what we've been lulled into doing. That's it. Words don't mean anything. The moment you see like, you know, kids, certain cartoon. How can I put freaking sex clowns in the library reading stories to kids and stuff, until we see like an entire town just like tar and feather those people and like punt their asses out of town, like the entire town. It's still just we're gonna complain online and that's it. Like it's like, yeah, sure, a lot of people have changed their tune, but like a lot of people changed their tune when they were in the helicopters in Pinochet, or when they were, you know, facing the ditch, you know, when Guevara was there. You know, it doesn't matter what we say, it's what is done. You know what I mean? Until laws are passed, until there's actually representative politicians back in office, which I don't think we'll ever see in our lifetime because they're all aristocrats. I don't think we're going to see any kind of resistance. Nothing has been a resistance. The Republicans are not a resistance. They're controlled opposition.
The establishment, yeah, but
they're the Washington Generals to the fucking Democrat Harlem Globetrotters. That's what they are. You know they'll show up, but they're gonna get the floor mopped with them. They'll put up minimal resistance for show only. And they'll go backstage and all slap hands and have a beer together and laugh at the fucking idiots who paid money to see it.
My only issue is, like, let's say having people not complain on the internet and stand up, like you were saying, Chris, and you have a whole town rise up, and that's what they want. Like, if there's one thing government does have a monopoly on, if there's one thing that government is efficient in, it's violence. And they want it to turn violent.
Yeah, but the alternative is just to complain and do nothing.
But it's not, because like if you look, like things are starting to change. Every election, I'm seeing more and more candidates like Valentina Gomez, Robbie Starbuck before the GOP took them off their own ballot. But people who might not have ever run for office at all are starting to come out.
But here's the thing: is like I was saying earlier, like they're just controlled opposition. They're just new pawns on the chessboard that belong to the other team. Like, until we see a radical legislation or you know, like, you know, kind of like what happened down in Argentina when Milei got into office, and he shit canned like all of the Marxists. He's like, get the fuck out. Like, there's so much bloat, and he turned things around. Like, inflation dropped. And like the GDP went up and all this stuff. And it's like, until we see that, all of these candidates, all of these nice words and good thoughts and complaints online and people waking up doesn't mean anything. We need to get to that stage where we actually have something tangible to say, see what, we fucked back. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I know we can't be violent about it because, like you said,
but legislation only gets you so far, too. I mean, there's legislation out there that you can't cool a pie on your window at Sundays between 4 and 7 in some states. But it doesn't matter because the culture changed, you know, and I feel the culture changing. That's one reason I've been like riding so hard against Disney and just giving up on these big corporations, because the culture is changing and they can take it back real quick if we do become complacent. I don't know. I look at people like Dana White. I look at people like Sean Strickland, and I see them talking about fucking savages and fucking running over these fucking kids. If you're savage enough, you fucking go out there and get it. And that's what gives me faith. Like, I see Trina in the chat saying she doesn't have faith in the people in this country, and there are a lot of people in this country I don't have faith in. But I guess I should say I have faith in the movement. I have faith in liberty. I think we're gonna fucking come out of this on the other side, and it's gonna take time. It ain't gonna happen overnight, and that's probably a good thing, because honestly, radical change that happens really quick usually doesn't end up well. And even these Marxists, they didn't take over our institutions overnight. It took a long time to get there. I do think we're going to win this in the long run. And it has nothing to do with the Mitch McConnells and the Mike Johnson and the establishment rhinos. It has to do with the real defenders of liberty out there. And you know, that even goes to look at a couple weeks ago with the press correspondence dinner. And you have people like Ashley St. Clair, who's supposedly fighting for this side, hugging up to Harry Sisson and Angela Belcamino. I don't even mean those people. I just mean, again, people like Dana White, Sean Strickland, the real lovers of liberty. I think we will win the long game.
I wish I could share your optimism. I mean, for me personally, I don't see that we've had a functioning government for any, like, probably most of my life. I mean, I've seen an aristocracy replace an actual government. I don't see all these politicians are not representative of the people. Every single one of them has 7 figures, like, or more.
I agree. The people haven't mattered government since probably before we were born.
Yeah, well, they since they've been in power, since in my lifetime, you know, I've seen, you know, these people that have been, you know, lifelong career politicians, which there's never been any imposition of term limits. There's never been any imposition of age limits. Like, half of these people, like, I swear to God, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg with that festering corpse was in there, and I think the Albright lady, like, it looked like that scene in fucking The Dark Crystal where the Skeksis was in its bed, and it's like,
Yep.
you know, like, it's like, die already, you fucking, like, all of them are like that, and they cling to their wealth, and we see that with the boomers already. Like, the majority, like, all of the wealth in our country is held by the boomer generation or older. Like, and yeah, like Gen Z, the Zoomers and the Alpha that comes after them, those poor kids are fucked, dude. Like, I was watching some economic stuff, and it was talking about how much money they need to make proportionally. You know, if you were to like basically pull out the whole concept of the or adjust for inflation or whatever, and it's like they have to work like 3 hours or whatever for like a decent meal. Like, what?
Yeah. But the one thing with the boomers too is, you know, the boomers, okay, they were basically handed everything. Yep. They had generations come before them who planted trees in which the boomers enjoyed their shade. And then the boomers came in, chopped all those fucking trees down, processed them, and sold them for as much as they could get, and left nothing for the next generation. And you know what's funny is the greatest generation, some of the silent generation, the parents of these boomers were the first generation to actually build retirement communities to get the hell away from the boomers, who have always despised the middle class. And that's never been more apparent than now. But they're also dying out. And I've mentioned it before, but Strauss-Howe generational theory, we're in the 4th turning right now. They're generational cycles, and there will be a first turning. There will be a moment in time that most of us can gather around and unite around. And then that's where the rebuilding starts. The tyranny of these boomers, it's not going to last forever. You know, wait till Gen X, you know, the latchkey kids, the strong kids, the independent kids. Wait till they're taking over things, you know, which they've already started. And granted, not everyone in Gen X is great, or any generation. But then I also look, you know, millennials get a bad rap, but then you look at people like Vivek Ramaswamy. There are also some great millennials. I don't know. Maybe I'm, again, naive. I've never been good at letting go of hope. But I don't know. Just something, my gut, dude. I can't even articulate it in words. I'm sorry to everyone in the chat and the audience, but my gut tells me we're going to go through hard times, but at the end of the day, we're going to win. Liberty is going to prevail.
Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers.
What
do you think, Etep?
I think Godzillionaires, right? He says Tony's always hopeful. He sounds like a Dallas Cowboys fan. No, man. I have a modicum of faith in the American people, and I do, because I'm not, you know me, I'm not black pilled. I'm not. And I refuse to be. I'm not gonna be. It won't happen. You know, because I have enough issues going on. I don't want to I can't look at things through that lens. I can't, because it just doesn't, it ain't gonna work for me, brother. But I mean, I try to be realistic about shit. And I mean, there's a definite shift in the culture, as you've said, Tony. There is. The pendulum has swung, and we just need to keep building on the momentum. And that's one at the ground level. And it's in terms of politics, it starts with municipalities, and it works its way up. But is to go back and allude to the point that Chris made earlier, that's the problem, is the political landscape is an aristocracy. So you have that to contend with. But you build up enough groundswell, you create something that's impossible to ignore. But, then you have to deal with the government trying to quell it in any way they can, using any means at their disposal, because if there's one thing they hate, it's to be challenged.
When you challenge them non-violently,
that's what I mean. I'm not talking about any violence.
And can I just mention too, there, as far as again, I look at the founding fathers' great vision, the perspective they had, writing out our Bill of Rights, our Constitution. That's a strong foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen its limits tested, and it always seems to hold up, like they really are universal truths. But this entire aristocracy and even the Fed, I mean, look at our currency, dude. It's all of it. It's built on a house of cards. And the thing is, once you acknowledge one part of their facade, the rest of it just comes undone. You can't just acknowledge one part without acknowledging all of it. And eventually, everyone's going to be put to that test. Everyone's going to, different circumstances, different scenarios, everyone's going to be put in a situation where they have to acknowledge what's going on. Again, I'm a realist. I know things are bad. And I know they'd probably be a lot worse if people didn't start waking up. And I don't know where we're headed with AI, how that's going to factor into everything.
Oh, that's going to destroy.
But I do know that, I don't know, we're built on a stronger foundation.
Well, until I start seeing illegal aliens deported,
we're all fooled by them. It's not going to take much for this whole facade they built up to just unravel.
But who cares if it unravels? They have all the power. When the mask slips, it'll be too late. What are we going to do? You're going to see a bunch of fat, diabetic people in the street, like getting out of breath while they're shouting and getting peppered, or gassed or whatever in the street. Like, we've seen how impotent these riots are. Like, those were all dress rehearsals, and they're pointless. They were all just for show. And like, politicians have no fear of the people. So what's the opposite of that? Tyranny. The J6 thing there, the whole put in prison, like suspending the whole habeas corpus and just throwing people unlawfully into prison for years now. Like they can get away with that. They can do that in higher numbers if they want now.
I know.
Nobody's going to resist them.
She's been working that cardio.
Yeah. There's this line. I can't remember. There was this weird movie I remember seeing with the guy, what's his face? The guy who played Hannibal Lecter in it. And Cuba Gooding Jr.
You're talking Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins and Cuba Gooding Jr. And it was called like, I can't remember the name of it, but there was this one scene where like Cuba Gooding Jr. was like a cop or like a profiler or whatever, and he's interviewing this guy, and guys all got long gray hair, beard, and everything, and he basically he makes this point to Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character about like, who's the prisoner in this room right now? Who has all the power? And Cuba Gooding Jr. is like, well, clearly you're in cuffs, and you're not going anywhere, and I can freely walk out the door if I want. So I'd say I have all the power here. And then the guy like lunges over the table and pins the guy against the wall, practically snaps his neck, and he whispers in his ear, do you still think you have the power, or do you think you have the illusion of power? And that's where we are. We don't even have the illusion of power anymore. Like we have the illusion of security, of this idea that the agreement between people and civilization is still being held true, and it's not. Our government is not holding up their end of the bargain. They're flooding our country with people who are, they are not sending their best. They're doing this to grow seats in our political establishment, to get more aristocrats, in the Senate. Nobody's stopping them. Nothing, like all the mean words and all of the, the naftily worded emails aren't doing anything. Like all the political theatrics with the Orange Man going to prison, or possibly, going through all these legal cases, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whatever the outcome is, nothing's going to change. Like we need to see people that actually are in like towns, or like there was this one town in, I think, Baton Rouge down in Louisiana that gave me hope, where the people are like, we're done with this Democrat mayor. We're going to basically create our own town. And they like tried to label them as like white supremacists and stuff. And it's funny because there's actually black people in that town, like in that new town or whatever. And they're like, I'm not a white supremacist, but I'm also law abiding. I'm not ghetto trash. I'm not an illegal alien that's, shitting in the streets. Like,
you want to talk about fucked up towns and mayors? Have you guys been following the Dalton, Illinois case?
No.
The super mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I've been following that. Like I just been watching videos on it and like news reports and shit. Tiffany Henyard is the mayor of Dalton, which is like a small suburb, like south of Chicago, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then she's the supervisor of like Thornton Township. Like, and she got put into power like as mayor in Dalton because the old mayor like had to resign or something. So she got his salary of like $200,000 just starting. She has fucking like the police force is like her basically Gestapo. They're like her goon squad. Like she's had them shoot at the others, like the board members, the city board. She's had her cops like shoot at their house, like one of their houses and shit. Like one police officer made, he worked, what was it, in 2 weeks, 300 some hours, which is literally impossible. And made like 13 grand on one paycheck. And she built an ice rink that only she's used for her events. Like, I mean, there was a Vegas trip where one of the people on her staff sexually assaulted another member of her staff. Yeah, I just all kinds of like, dude, she bought Tahoes for the city just for her entourage. She came to a fucking city meeting dressed like Nino Brown. Like this, dude, we can hang on a second. Let me find.
Do you have
let me
Rick
find it.
Goldfish in their pimpin' shoes?
Oh, dude, it's fucking, it's hilarious. This Tony, have you've been seeing this, haven't you?
I've just heard of this Tiffany chick, and I know that she was complaining to a bunch of black people that they were coming down on her because she was black.
Oh God.
And I know she's, I mean, fucking corrupt.
Oh yeah.
Like, very, very corrupt. But I haven't been paying attention to the case as much.
Oh, dude, there's so much shit going on. Here, hang on a second. This is let me find, this is from 3 months ago. This is a fucking great clip. Let me get to it. She sounds so fucking stupid. It is
Ghetto.
Oh, she's like, and even like the town is like predominantly black. They hate her. They fucking hate her. Here we go.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet, the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing, that only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work, no work.
Tiffany Henry
Stereotype.
considers herself something of a crusader, but one who's clearly annoyed by questions from a rebellious group of Dalton trustees who are in a standoff with her over spending.
At the end of the day, vendors are not being paid.
Okay, wait.
Board
That
approved
guy
it. The
right
vendors,
there, Jason
Mhm.
House. He's accused of sexual assault during the Vegas trip that the taxpayers paid for.
Hold on.
Oh,
I wasn't paying attention to any of this. So I was wondering why Africa was a war-torn asshole.
That's a good question, Tony.
One dude has Starbucks and Fiji water, and that other bitch has Kroger water. Put the Kroger bitch in charge.
Yep,
Put
because the other guy.
bitch in charge.
What up, Vinny? You've got a link. Vinny. We'll watch a little bit more of this.
are not being paid.
How about you be a good leader, bring RFPs to the forefront, so not
Oh,
just us,
Jesus.
but the residents
No,
and
no,
everybody
this
else in
woman's
America
on point.
know how the money is being spent.
WGN Investigates has cataloged tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars spent on trips, meals, and more by Tiffany Henry and her allies in Dalton and on the Thornton Township Board, where she's the supervisor. Township credit card records show Henry and other officials spent more than $67,000 on trips to Portland, Austin, Atlanta, and New York City. Many of the flights were first class. So were the accommodations. In Atlanta, Henry and her team stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel, costing taxpayers more than $9,000. In New York, the bill came to $13,000. Henry has refused to explain the specific purpose of the trips or why they travel in such style, but she appeared to refer to our reporting at Monday's Dalton meeting.
But everything we do for the people. But we under attack. We getting scrutinized in the media. For what? Loving on the people? Showing them that they matter to us? We going through the...
Wait.
Can't even
Loving
speak
up. Wait,
English.
I want to go back and hear say, look for what? Loving on the people?
She can't even speak fucking English.
Let's
I know.
hear. I want to hear it again.
Scrutinized in the media. For what? Loving on the people? Showing them that they matter to us?
Can we just? I'm not going to remember her name past Tiffany, so can we just start referring to her as Papa Cotton's waifu?
Oh hell no! Mm-mm.
Wait. This is just.
You've got to do better.
Yes, dude, this is how we do better. Papa Cotton has it right here. He didn't repeal the 19th. He didn't deserve that waifu remark.
You know what, Tony? You know what she's got though that you don't have.
What's that?
Black girl magic.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they
it's
made
just a,
antibiotics for that.
I hate the celebrated violence and ignorance. Like, you know what I mean? Like any normal person, and yes, I am saying normal person because I don't think this is a race thing, that talks like that sounds like fucking stupid. Like seriously sounds like they have an extra chromosome. Like, and is in public, cackling out with that, getting all violent and like any normal person would be like shamed to the point of like, clinical cringe. They'd have to be hospitalized for how like embarrassed they felt. Like that belligerent, like overt ignorance. I don't know they day, but I'm sorry, I don't speak jive. Like, what the fuck? When did we become a country full of tards? Like, this is not like, and it's not a race thing. There are plenty of people that are black that know how to speak English just like everybody else.
Yeah, I wish more politicians were as based as like Clarence Thomas or Thomas Sowell or Jesse Lee Peterson. And this is what it all comes down to. It's not a racial thing. It has nothing to do with skin color. It has everything to do with actions and choices. You choose to act this way. You choose to do the things that you do. Whether it's flying to the Four Seasons in Atlanta or doing right by the people of the country. And that's a lame, I'm so tired of hearing about skin color. That's a lame ass excuse. And to be real, only one group of people are thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
At least one group of people that fucking matter, that are large enough to make any kind of difference. Nobody gives a fuck about skin color. It has everything to do with your culture. CJP right there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Check this out. Here's the fucking gimmick.
It said one time she showed up to City Hall there, dressed as Nino Brown, and she even took a picture of herself dressed that way. With a dog, a fake dog with a chain, because, Nino Brown had these dogs and all that other stuff. And she says that she was mimicking that of Martin Lawrence, where he did a show and he was mimicking that of Nino Brown.
See, when I was running the strip club, I had white women coming up acting like that. And yeah, they only dated black men. They only dated brothers, but they would even talk like that. And I tell them, stop fucking talking like that. Well, why? Because it's not sexy. If you want to make money in my club, you need to be sexy, and that's not sexy. And if you're not making money, I'm not making money, and you have no reason to be here. It has nothing to do with pigmentation.
No, they're obsessed with it. They're obsessed with skin color, obsessed with melanin. That is the melanin. I'm dripping with melanin. I got melanin for days. It's like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Nobody else talks like that.
Yeah.
Like nobody. Like, I'm sorry, there isn't. There's no other fucking group that is obsessed with race the way that those folks are. And it's a culture thing, and it's cultural rot is what it is.
And a projection of their own self-hatred. They feel inadequate. When it's like, stop feeling, who gives a fuck what anyone else thinks of you? Just be the best version of yourself that you can be.
Yeah. I don't understand why that's so difficult. I really don't. Is that my white privilege?
Yeah, exactly, CJP.
Oh, sorry, you were highlighting the same comment I was.
Great minds, man. Yeah, dude, you've got Nigerian immigrants coming over here working their ass off because to them, the American dream is still alive. Even if I have to work 16, 18 hours a day, I never get to come home. I never get to see my family, but I'm fucking providing that stable foundation so my kids might be able to get ahead one day. They might be able to own a little piece of land and not have to worry about, it being unjustly taken from them by bandits or whatever else, fucking nothing to do with anything other than our own choices, our own actions.
Yeah.
Well,
if you have a toxic mentality, you're going to attract toxic things, and then you're going to blame those things on your skin color. It's just nobody wins in that situation.
No, and I want to touch on Trina's point. She says, but I do think culture is dominated by non-whites. I'm sorry. Well, that's one thing, and I noticed that a lot in marketing, and especially, and I know how much Trina loves wrestling, and I mentioned wrestling, and there's an angry wall of text as my phone vibrates. Trina has these things. She's got pre-written angry messages to send to me for every time I mention wrestling. But no, I watched the WWE product now, and I don't want to talk about this, but I want to correlate it to the conversation briefly. And noticing the theme music for a group that is comprised of 50% Asian women, to have a rap influenced theme for like every movie, like every Marvel movie, even Shang-Chi had like a rap theme song. It's like, what? I'm sorry. I used to love rap music, right? I did, before it turned to absolute and utter dog shit and just fucking died. But I don't want to hear every time I see a movie trailer, especially when it's like oddly out of place for the movie. I don't need to see a movie about Vikings with a trailer having like a heavy rap beat to it. Like, what the fuck? Like it is. It's so that it is. It's a pervasive thing. And it's fucking that's ridiculous. Like, yeah.
Hi guys.
Hey,
I
Vinny.
don't even know where that picture is from, but I like it.
It's Tony
Like,
the Giant. I made that just for you.
I mean, I don't know where you got my face from, which picture that's from, but it works, bro.
I broke into your house last night and I got it.
Y'all look at me. Y'all look at me. I'm the culture now.
I was gonna write black Tony the Giant, but I have time to change your skin color. What's up, homies?
What's up, Vinny?
Oh shit. Yeah, we gotta have fun with it sometimes.
Right.
Fucking love it. Yeah.
I had a feeling you might.
You know, one thing about going back to the culture thing too is that we've allowed the culture to be taken, just like how the left took the culture and ran with it, like white guilt, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've allowed ourselves to feel guilty over things in the past that everybody did, and therefore we act culturally weak. Like, you know, it all comes to, you know, not wanting to offend people, but to be real too, you know, white people have created so much culture that it's kind of like all around us too. But I agree, like what Etep, like, man, I used to like rap music too, but that was back when it had like a message to it, you know, and it was kind of the underdog story. When we started getting into the flashier shit, now what rap has become now, yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah, I like the Three Jewish Boys, Everlast. I like those rappers.
Yeah.
Run DMC, they're black. I like them. They were good.
Yeah.
But no,
I'm Ice Cube, man.
Yeah, Ice
Like,
Cube.
I still listen to Cube.
Hell yeah.
There's nothing
By the way,
wrong
hello,
with
chat.
acknowledging other people's cultures. My bad, Vinny. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging other cultures. Like, that's one problem with the internet, is that we don't have regional culture as much anymore. It's kind of conglomerated everything and congealed it into some weird mess. But, you know, you can acknowledge other people's cultures, but you don't got to be ashamed of your culture either. Be proud of who you are, you know?
Oh, for
and
sure.
that's something like white people need to learn again, because, you know, you didn't do these things that they're trying to make you feel guilty over. You know, it's all about individual actions and what are you doing, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a lesson, you know, it's something we need to raise our kids on again and start setting an example of.
But you make a good point too, because you can't even have proper conversations with people anymore. Yeah, I'll get into it in a second, but yeah, I just like I said before, I want to say hello to the chat. Didn't get a chance to properly before, but yeah, hello chat. I'm Tony the Giant, but yeah, I was having a conversation with someone, and this person happens to be, you know, a pretty hard lefty, But we liked a lot of the same things. And as we're talking, other stuff came up, and I could see the person making a funny face. And I said, like, the way that I'm hearing things, I'm like, well, listen, like, 'cause I really don't care. I don't care if somebody is changing their own shit for their own mental problems, whatever the hell it is. I don't care. I don't want it pushed on me. I don't want it anywhere near children. So, like, that's the big difference. And the way that they're kind of brainwashing the new left, or the people who are going more extreme in whatever direction it is, you could see a certain pattern of, like you said, they're trying to make even having a conversation with these people like that you should feel shame about it. I'm like, no, I feel fucking no shame about any of this stuff. It's like, literally, if someone wants to hurt themselves or chop off their junk because they hate themselves or they were brainwashed into whatever their reason is, if it's just they genuinely just don't like how they are and they want to change themselves, that's on them. But don't push it on young people. Don't push your mental problems on anybody else. That's for you to figure out. That's for your own shit. If you are that weak and you let this cultural shit get to you and make you change out of the blue, and especially if you're older, especially if you're somebody who has a family, someone's already in that place, you're fucked. You need serious help. You don't go around going, you have to accept me, you have to accept me, and my views matter, and I need to poison other people. No, you are fucked up on your own. You did a good job on that. You know what I mean? But we know what it is. It's a societal thing that they're doing this on purpose. Because what do they want? They want people to keep fighting. Doesn't matter if it's sex, doesn't matter if it's religion, doesn't matter if it's color. They want people to continue fighting so that no one's looking at them. No one's looking at their bank accounts filling up even more and more as they pass new bills, while we can't even pay for groceries or gas or rent. You know what I mean? It's sleight of hand. It's we have to keep our thumb on everybody else, and you can't do shit about it. And yeah, now we're changing the language too. You have to accept that. If you don't accept that, now we're going to drain your bank accounts because now it's all attached. Now it's your money is all digital. Ha ha, fuck you.
Yeah, well, they've always wanted us to like just roll over and die. Like, and you like that CVS robbery we're looking at, year or two ago, Etep, where dude comes into a CVS threatening the employees' lives with a gun pointed at them. Another one of the employees was strapped, pulled out his gun, he put the assailant down. And next thing you know, the assailant's sister is on TV crying that they didn't have to kill her brother. They should have just allowed themselves to be held at gunpoint and possibly taken out over a couple dollars. That's one thing these people want, is for us to just roll over and die. And because we haven't done that, back to what you were saying, Vinny, they want to find incentives that they can take away from us, whether it be a digital currency or whether it be an electric vehicle that they can just hit the kill switch on and, oops, we're going to have to lock down. Sorry, you can't go anywhere. Click.
Yeah.
It all comes back to, you have in the world, you have people who just want to be left alone, to live their life and create and make the best out of what they have a good family, whatever else. And then you have people who just have to be in control of everyone else. They have to control the situation. You have to do what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Holland definitely ain't controlling Romeo and Juliet.
No, just like in his personal life with Zendaya. I mean, she's putting the strap on.
Dude, look at that photo. Tell me that's not Tom McDonald and Chris Rock.
Holy shit!
I wanted the people at home to see this image of the because this looks more natural the way on the picture is with Holland in the female role. Yeah,
I need to put Tony the Giant right behind them.
Looks way more natural.
looking in disapproval.
Staring in violent disapproval. With all this talk of race relations and such, I know one man that can save us. You know who that is?
He's
Nobody.
underneath you.
Nobody.
Wrestling has more than one black champion.
Trina should have got this one.
There's melanin in his soul. Negro icon Cody Rhodes, doing it for the culture munchie. When blacks are down, Cody's there, and he knows how to bring
Looking like the summer of 2020 up in here.
It's cornrows. His father said, blacker the berry, the sweeter is the juice. When they took a piece for championship away, I felt defeated. But then when Cody won, those feelings went away. Those thoughts were heated. Cody, my heroes, one of my favorite heroes. Where Cody starts racing the man, what kind of leader?
Oh shit!
That will not get old. That's fucking amazing.
Who originally made that?
I found it on fucking YouTube through like a link on Twitter in a fucking comment thread. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. I'm gonna clip this and use it from here to eternity.
Oh, that's golden.
It just goes with the theme, you know. It does. Cody Raheem Rhodes. That sounds right. I think Sweet Sapphire with his real mama daddy.
Yep, that's what I've been saying.
That's what we need to cure the ills and the divide in the races is Cody Raheem Rhodes.
Raheem.
No, not really. Maybe New Jack. I don't know. But no, there's a huge divide. And we know it's all propagated this way, but there is those deep-seated feelings, Tony. Like you said, it's almost like a pervasive cultural insecurity, and that permeates through everything we see, all the actions. And what up, franchise? I mean, dude, when we showed that, I think it was on Holy Shit News. It was the guys taking the Milwaukee drills in broad daylight. You know what I mean? Like carts full of those things, which is like thousands of dollars, just unapologetically, and it happens everywhere, you know. But the thing is, there's no repercussions for these actions. The consequences never, they're never there because these DAs don't prosecute these crimes. I mean, look at California. You can literally shit on the sidewalk, which I laugh when they try to play that off like it wasn't a real thing in San Francisco.
But not at Nancy Pelosi's driveway.
Well, yeah, not there, of course. And like the whole, you can steal $999 worth of merchandise, and the rest of the taxpayers are going, oh, well, that's awesome, thank you. Hey, by the way, you might as well not lock your cars because there's no way we can stop people from breaking into them. So. Just get used to it, like
it's
Seth Rogen said.
Division.
It is. It's all by design. That's crazy. It's
yeah. Did you hear that there? TJ Miller, the one who he had Hammer Time with Paul Pelosi, because I'm convinced that was TJ Miller. He's getting like 40 years.
Is he?
That's what they said.
Was TJ Miller like a sexual assault case? Because he's the comedian, right? The one from Deadpool.
Yeah. He's trying to badmouth Ryan Reynolds or something, and because he's not in the third movie, so now he's bitching about it.
But wasn't he in like legal trouble or some shit?
He might have been. I know he's also has brain problems. Like he's got he had some kind of health issue or something happened to him. He could die like at any minute. But
Jesus.
Yeah, good folks. But I know I believe he's an insane left-hard as well.
Well, I mean, is that that shouldn't be a shock to anyone.
Yeah.
No one involved in the situation is shocked by this.
Well, I mean, if he's going after his ex-boyfriend Paul Pelosi, allegedly.
Allegedly he was Brian DeSlappy.
He pooped in the driveway and then he went inside with a hammer.
Oh, oh God.
I might have the facts a little bit off, but it's about right.
You know, I think it tracks for the all things considered for all parties involved. I mean, this can't be wrong. Oh God. Oh, where's the guy with I need the soft shoe. I need the soft shoe off the stage in vaudevillian fashion right now. I saw, what the hell was it? I saw somebody. Chris, you'll be happy to hear this. I believe Eddie Kingston got hurt.
Oh no. Was it when Willie Mack basically did like a headstand into his ribs?
No, he was eating and he choked on an entire pork chop.
These things happen.
Is his last name like Cass Elliot or Elliot or whatever?
It was a canned ham. And
Mama Cass pork ham sandwich. Like
yeah, take that.
It's just like Yokozuna.
Digestion begins in the mouth. You have to chew your food.
That's right.
What if it's dirt? Are you just supposed to swallow that? Because that's
hell no.
No, you put it in the old family recipes for Thanksgiving in the collard greens.
Glaze a ham with it.
Glaze a ham with that's right.
Yeah, they did. They glazed the ham with dirt.
We watched that video. I'm like, what? Because I thought it was a joke. Tony's like, no, it's real. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I had that Sam Neill reaction from About the Madness. No.
Oh, that's fucking Event Horizon. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's the Event Horizon. I think that was the fucking goddamn orgy scene that they shot with like paraplegics and shit like that.
Yeah.
That they had like the entire they had an entire sequence like done for that, but it got obviously they couldn't use it in a theatrical release.
Oh,
I think that would
Horizon.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, he was looking at freaking handicapped people doing it, and that's when he made that noise.
No, they were like they were almost like Cenobites. It was weird because what's his name? Drinker had the one girl on. She was like an adult film star, and she was in that scene because it was like a big ass blood orgy.
Okay. Jesus.
Yeah,
I wonder how far they really go in those movie sets with all these Satanists.
It depends.
Allegedly.
I guess it depends on who the director is. You know what I mean? And who's involved with it. Like, it was funny. We watched The Burning last night, and that was the first of the Miramax films. That's what kicked them off was The Burning.
Okay.
In 1981. Yep. It was the first
Weinstein,
Miramax.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. And that was a fun fucking movie to watch. It really was. That was fun.
Oh, awesome.
Block, but fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I was telling Tony off air. In a couple weeks, we'll be doing the next pay-per-view over in Jeddah, which was destroyed in a mining accident. No, not that Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. We'll be doing that. It's another 1 p.m. on Saturday.
Okay.
Pay-per-view. So I'm pretty sure I'll be home alone that weekend too. So we might make that a drinking stream just for fun.
All right.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
And when's that exactly?
It is Saturday. What is it? The 25th, I think. Yeah, it's a week from Saturday, so it's the 25th. Okay. It's Memorial Weekend.
Gotcha.
So
nice.
Yeah. I mean, if there's still a country by that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty much day by day at this point.
It most certainly is. You have been watching my Friday streams.
Did anybody actually see that Civil War movie?
No.
No.
What kind of American are you?
I heard Jones talking about it, and it's just pure propaganda.
Yeah, I
it's
heard
a fantasy about offing Trump. Like, these people are demented.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they always tell you what they're gonna do.
Which is funny because before it came out, you have all the critics like, "Oh, it's not even political. We're just offing Trump."
It's only massively political.
Yeah.
And they said the catalyst for the for this Civil War is that they wanted to or not they wanted to, they accomplished getting rid of the FBI. That's in the movie. So the catalyst for this all falling apart is that the FBI is disbanded.
I think people, it would be like the end of Star Wars, like these special editions where everybody was celebrating.
Yeah, exactly. Dismantling the FBI would prevent Civil War.
Right.
So here's the big kicker, and for those who don't want spoilers, I don't care because this movie's all propaganda horse shit. Apparently, there's a black female general or something who they kick down the doors of the White House, and she shoots the president multiple times. Then they grab his body and they start taking photos with it and propping it up like it's
like a trophy.
Yeah, like it's a trophy. So that's but it's not political at all. They said he's just like a Trump type of a president who loves his guns. Okay. Not political, though. On any level, it's not political whatsoever. Civil war in America that started because they got rid of the FBI in this film, and they take out a president who's like a carbon copy of Trump. But it's not political. Remember that.
Wait, I'm watching the scene right now.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
The president's played by Ron fucking Swanson.
Yeah, who is a diehard lefty.
Yes, he is.
If there's one thing good guys do, it's take selfies with corpses.
Yeah.
For Instagram.
Yeah. Sounds absolutely retarded. I have no desire to see that trash.
Now, I did hear it's kind of good in the vein that it shows what kind of sick sons of bitches, journalists actually are when they're in a war zone and they're like, "Oh God, I'm loving this," as they're filming people dying all around them and how excited they are because this will be good for their career as people are getting blown to smithereens. So,
wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What was her name? It was Moses Ingram just shot Ron Swanson while that I just watched the scene. I didn't get to see any selfies, but the little journalist chick was snapping pictures as they were putting him in his melon.
Writing this movie or on the set, they're like, "Yes, we'll have the black girl shoot Trump. Oh, this is gonna be so good."
Oh,
not political.
What up, D. Joseph Santos? Hail.
What's up?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna watch it at all, so it's like I don't care. I'll see if the ending's on YouTube. And he's laying there on the floor. I didn't really get a chance to listen to the dialogue. It was only a 47-second clip, but they just stand over him, and the two of them shoot him in the melon, and they're taking pictures as the bullets are entering his
Didn't
skull.
you show the clip before them in the courtroom? No. Before he came on? No. Okay.
No. Oh, God damn it. No, that was Tiffany Henyard. That was Super Mayor. What if the black girl shoots an orange man president? Stop! I can only get so erect. God damn it! It's like it's the whole.
You guys ever? Oh, sorry.
I was going to say it's the Hulk Hogan meme. Dead ass, brother. I'm erect right now.
Have you ever seen the film Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal?
I watched part of it, but I've never seen the whole thing.
Well, the premise, like Jake Gyllenhaal's character is like a sociopath, and he makes a living off of photographing like dead people and like violent accidents and all this stuff, like shootouts and whatever. And that's kind of the, showing people that the people that want to get into that kind of, photojournalism or whatever, yeah, they're touched in the head. Like there's something wrong upstairs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Look at the blood geyser from that massive head wound. Oh yeah, can you face the camera? They'll like position the bodies and stuff. Like,
jeez. Okay.
Yeah, they do that. And you remember remember there was that one shot of the traumatized kid after was it some Middle Eastern hellhole exploded, and there was just like dirt everywhere, and there was this kid they pulled out of the rubble, and he's all covered in gray and everything from being, basically his whole family's dead. And he's just sitting there shocked in the back of the ambulance. And there's like 30 people with cameras like 5 feet away, like zooming in to his face and stuff as he's just sitting there. Like
shitballs.
Yeah. No humanity in these people.
No. Wow. You'd think they were making comic books, selling them on the internet.
Oh.
Damn. Ouch.
Well,
Hey, wait a second.
not us specifically. It's a certain group that helped off somebody, but okay.
It's not chirping. I replaced the batteries, folks.
I'm encompassing the power of Tony the Giant right now, so I'm too manly for folks.
Oh
Man,
my god!
I
freaking
don't
love that with-
even know if I'm gonna do the job at WrestleMania 3 yet. I'll let you know in the ring.
Well, according to Hulk Hogan, brother, I tore 60 muscles in my back body slamming Andre, brother. He weighed 606 pounds, brother. That's
You
literally
ever
what he
see-
said. He said he tore 60 some muscles in his back.
Oh yeah, he
What?
claimed that's why he has all those problems, and he was taking those needles in the spine.
Yep.
He's claiming it all started with Andre.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I love one of his other ones was he said that when Andre would stay in hotel rooms, he'd have to push, like if he didn't get a king size room, he'd have to push 2 beds together. And Hulk was like, I was helping him push the beds together, brother. And Cornette makes a good point. He's like, it's widely known that Andre would have to do that, but he goes, it's just fucking amazing how Hulk Hogan fucking inserts himself into the story, like he was the one pushing the beds together for Andre.
Yeah.
Boomer's gonna boomer.
Like, that's just funny.
That's pretty glorious.
Classic
Hogan.
Oh my god, the fucking lies of that man are.
What was it? He used to play guitar for Metallica.
Oh, he
Yes.
said he was almost the guitar player for
He was
Metallica. Yeah.
and best friends with Lars Ulrich, and Lars was like, I've never met the man.
He traveled 400 days a year. He wrestled 400 days in 1 year because he flew back and forth across the international date line so much it created extra time.
Does anyone remember the stream when I took there was a whole bunch of AI photos of Hogan, and I put him like it was in black and white stuff, like he's performing with the Beatles. He was on stage with Elvis. Like I showed a series of crazy events.
Funny.
Huh?
No, I didn't see that, but that's funny.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Let's disseminate this for a second, because I think if someone says Lars Ulrich is cool, it's going to wake up some sleeper agents. Like, that's one thing that's like not
Nobody will ever
very
say.
disputed. Lars is a real dickbag.
Yep.
I think Hogan is the only person in history to be, oh yeah, we were best friends. Like, nobody wants to be Lars's friend. Fuck Lars, dude.
He didn't say Hetfield. He didn't say Hammond.
No, he said Lars.
He says Lars.
Like, I've known sound engineers who've worked on Metallica albums who've like talks about Lars is in the fucking mixing booth being a dickbag to everyone and won't let him do their job. We'll turn the drums up. Turn this. I know. I want it like this. It's like, dude, let the mixers do their fucking job, dude. But from the sound engineers to fans to everyone in between, I've never heard anyone say that Lars is a cool guy.
No.
Except Hogan.
I got a great story for you too. When I worked at McFarlane, they had made the Metallica figures, and they had like the big stage one. And I helped work on the stage thing a little bit, but the sculpts and everything already got approved before I got there, and they already went to China to cut steel, and that's when they found out there was an error with the height of Hetfield and the bassist Jason Newsted. And I remember they were flipping out. I was laughing my ass off. Like, you guys fucked up. How did you fuck this up? But anyway, I saw the tape of when they got their heads real scanned. And they were using this company called Gentle Giant. They were the first ones at the time, that actually was like actually using that kind of technology. Yeah. And they said, we haven't mastered how to do hair yet. So if you could, make sure that you're clean shaven and everything. And they gave him like a couple of weeks when they had their appointment. And Lars shows up with a full beard. Like he grew it out on purpose and refused to shave it or even trim it. So they did the scan. It was such garbage they couldn't use it. They had to scrape down his whole face and someone had to sculpt him by hand. And he was content with himself just being a dick. And they said after that, then they went to go do a performance somewhere and he was clean shaven. So he purposely did it just to be an asshole.
Yeah. Such a fucking douche, dude. Yeah. Like, that's what I mean. I've never heard any good stories about Lars. He's not visiting Make-A-Wish kids or reading to sick kids in the hospital. Mm-hmm. He's not doing this or that. He's such a dickbag to literally everybody who crosses his fucking path. Yeah. And Hogan lies about being his best friend. Like, not a good look, man.
No, not at all. Not at all. That's why I didn't quite believe him when he had the that story with Piper, but they actually played his the audio of it, Piper's last message to him that arrived in his phone like 3 or 4 days after he passed away.
Eerie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm walking with Jesus. I'm up here walking with Jesus. I love you, my brother.
That's creepy.
That was insane.
What a manliness.
What up, Scrambles?
What's up?
Hey, Scrambles.
What up?
Yeah, we're talking about how we are all best friends, especially Tony the Giant with Lars Ulrich.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Andre
stuff.
was almost the lead singer of Metallica.
Yep. Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah.
When did Arnold get here?
I was gonna say,
could you imagine like so he does like an AI thing, Now that the Lord's through with me, waking up on channel 2. Is that like whale music?
Why are there orcas walking up to my front door?
Holy shit.
The bigger problem is why are the orcas walking?
I got the Unforgiven.
Yeah, like I used to not be able to understand anything that came out of Andre's mouth when I was like 5, except for Hogan.
Yeah.
Hogan. I'm gonna drop 20 more on your chest.
And then Bobby the Brain Heenan would translate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe that's why I like Heenan so much.
I didn't even realize he was like French back then. I just thought he was big and retarded.
Right? Like I didn't know he was French.
Retarded, he's just French.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was like, why is he talking like he has peanut butter on the roof of his mouth?
That's why it was so impressive when he was in Princess Bride. Like, oh, he can actually speak.
Yeah. Oh mon Dieu.
He was great in that movie.
Yeah, he was.
I am the Boot Squad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Andre was a treasure.
Andre
was truly a treasure.
Yeah.
Feel bad for him, man. He was just a few years out from there being like better medical care for people with his condition, but he like suffered for years and basically drank himself to death because of it.
Yeah. Didn't he die like the day after his dad's funeral?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, like he was in France for his dad's funeral or something like that. Yeah.
God, that sucks.
Yeah, because like he was planning to retire everything. Like he was living there for a while before that happened, and I think one of the Carolinas, he had like a massive piece of property and a 4Runner that he used to go everywhere on. on his
Wow.
property.
No mercy.
Did you guys see the ad for this pay-per-view fight coming up this weekend?
Dude, have you seen the actual photos from that stage production?
Yeah.
It looks like the South Park non-denominational Christmas special.
Wow.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
It's like,
Going
is
all out.
Philip Glass
Yeah.
scoring this thing? I don't know what the fuck was going on with that. Like, yeah, I'm like, that's not Romeo and Juliet.
No,
That's like,
it looks like a prison sex scene.
yeah. Oh God.
Spider-Man
Oh,
versus a Predator.
That's nuts.
I saw that meme on Reddit earlier. I'm like, oh, I love it. I love it. Like, and everybody's like, why are you so mad? It's a stage. It's just a stage show. I'm like, this is a fucking, oh my God, this is like a piece of literary fucking history or massacring. But I mean, we made Alexander Hamilton black, Isaac Newton, right? Anne Boleyn, Vikings, and Irish, and who else? I mean, pretty much everybody, right? I'm pretty sure I got recasted as Dwight Gooden that used to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Can you pull up that graphic again?
Which
with
one?
Tom Holland.
Yeah, right here. Here we go.
See, now corporate needs you to find the difference between that picture and this picture.
I know you didn't use that word.
Who's on the other side?
Oh yeah, remove the
fight.
remove the Tom Holland. There you go.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Holy shit. It is the same photo.
Tell me he didn't just say
It's like they hired the actors for the Randy Orton Booker T Dark Side of the Ring or something like.
Holy shit!
Did you guys ever see that time that Ryan Reynolds basically just like torched Tom Holland?
No.
Remember those stupid, like during the lockdowns, how they had those, like the celebrities were bored because they couldn't work, so they were like, you had like Gal Gadot doing the imagine everything's communist, and all that shit. Well, they had one where it was like the handstand while change your t-shirt challenge or whatever. And like it was just people like physically fit actors doing handstands while they had like a t-shirt, and they had to like or they were shirtless and they had to like either get the shirt off or swap a new shirt or something. And they were doing it, and Tom Holland did it, and he's like, he's doing a handstand, he's got his feet up against the wall or whatever, and he's doing it, he's struggling. And you just see Ryan Reynolds like reaction, like watching it, like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then it was like when he finishes, Tom Holland's like, okay, I issue the swap the t-shirt challenge handstand to, and he names off a bunch of people, and it's like, and Ryan Reynolds, and so go, watch them do it. And Ryan Reynolds is like, no, and he just ends it. It's like, are you retarded?
Is he retarded?
It's just like, what?
Oh my god.
Yes, he is.
That's great.
How nice of you for noticing.
Peter Parker, we're coming for you, beep.
You have some little scrawny twink of a gymnastic boy
dressed in drag and sang Umbrella.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Wasn't he also taking it in the ass in one of his movies?
Figala?
Like someone played that clip. He was like he was dressed in drag or something in a bathroom stall taking it in the ass.
Oh, humiliation ritual.
Tom Holland? I don't know.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we showed it on one of our streams.
He stays. And keep in mind, he was a child actor. He was in that Tsunami movie with Ewan McGregor and whoever else.
The Impossible.
Movie.
When he's not filming a movie, he stays away from Hollywood. I'm thinking it's because of John Cryer, but
did you do your reply?
That was so much fun today. Holy shit.
John Cryer's a bitch-made motherfucker.
He was back on Twitter. Here, let me pull up this tweet if I can find it. he was back on the. I don't know why. Like, I'm not following John Cryer or anything. He just started appearing on my fucking timeline out of nowhere. So there was that one tweet, from earlier. I told him I don't, take anyone who has sex with Charlie Sheen serious. But now here he is. A reminder, Trump tested positive for COVID before the last debate. Yes, the same case that almost killed Trump, which Trump wasn't almost killed. He kept it a secret and did debate prep with Chris Christie, who then came down with the coup, and it almost killed Christie as well. Then Trump went to the debate with 77-year-old Biden. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm even going to find the... Okay, so here I see a lot of more based people, but there are people like, it sounds like attempted murder to me. It sounds like attempted murder. And I'm just like, and that's what he's implying,
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, okay, now are we going to talk about Charlie Sheen knowingly giving a bunch of people AIDS or all the sick shit that goes on in Hollywood?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'm like, someone barking as loud as you. It sounds like you have skeletons in your closet, bro. If you're gonna fucking reach like that.
Yeah, he's got skeletons in his rectum.
So yeah, I think this dude did something to Tom Holland. You heard it here first. Look at that.
Yep.
Ugh.
I don't know. Look, I'm not calling him a pedophile, but if I were to cast him in a movie,
damn.
You just gotta ask.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
I'm just looking. Does he not look like Matt Lauer's Padawan?
Oh.
Yes, the student has exceeded the master.
It's time for a quickening, Matt. What are you gonna do?
Oh, instead of lightning, it's just rainbows like coming out of it.
I would call him the twink Lex Luthor, but there's still Jesse Eisenberg.
Well, didn't he play Lex Luthor's nephew in one of the Superman movies?
yeah, he did.
John Cryer?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
I think it was the
Jesus.
fourth one or something.
Oh,
Yeah, the one with Richard Pryor.
Yeah, he was basically that other creepo, Seth Green, like how he was in Austin Powers. He was like a character like that, like the dumb young
protege.
Yeah, some shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen the one with Richard. They didn't even include that one in the set I bought.
Oh damn, that's not a good sign.
No, they're like, no, fuck that. Was that the Quest for Peace?
Yeah, there's the one where the nuclear missiles or whatever. It was like Richard Pryor was like a computer hacker.
Yeah.
I think that might have been the Quest for Peace. Like Superman like nets up all of the nuclear warheads or whatever, or all the missiles, and he just kind of flies out to space with like this big net ball, looks like Katamari Damacy, and throws it into the sun.
Wasn't that also the one where he went evil or something? Like he was drinking. Wasn't it that one?
One of them was he like gave up his powers.
Yeah, I remember that, but I thought this was the one where he was like drinking at a bar or something, and then like he fights himself in a junkyard. Wasn't that the third one?
You know, I haven't seen these movies in like almost 50 years. So
who am I talking to? We need real nerds on this pen.
Yeah.
I just watched the first one. I've got
Donner cut.
I've got the yes.
Franchise history called that. He was Lex Luthor in the
Yeah.
Arrowverse.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's what I said. That's what I said. He was the twink Lex Luthor.
Oh,
Yeah, he
okay.
was. But he was also in one of the movies.
I should have associated Twinks with the Arrowverse. My bad.
I mean,
Well,
it was
it's
made
easy.
up of,
Yeah.
yeah, it was made up of twinks. I mean,
It's like
every
AEW's.
it's
But
AEW.
I'll give one thing. The first two seasons of Arrow, they were good.
Arrow was okay when I saw that, yeah, in the early goings, and then it just became ridiculous. Although the chick that plays his girlfriend's a fucking smoke, the one that played Felicity Smoke, I can't think of her name, but oh my
Oh
god,
yeah, she was
Jesus.
flat, but she was gorgeous.
her
legs
fucking
were
ass and her
incredible.
legs are perfect. Like
Oh,
she's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I forgot her name too. Yeah, with the
yeah.
glasses and everything.
Yes,
Mm.
yes.
She was
And
wearing
then
those mini
Katie,
skirts.
God, yeah, stop it. I can only get so erect. My sketchbook. What's up, bro? He says he was in the 4th Superman.
Yeah. See, I was right. Yeah.
Wait, you're mixing Hicksville. You're mixing up every Superman movie. Lost Powers was 2, Pryor was 3, and the Nukes were 4.
Oh,
Which hold on, Hicksville. All right, since you're more familiar, which one was where he was drinking and kind of went bad, and then he fought himself in the junkyard? Wasn't that 3? Pretty sure.
like that was your memory.
What the? I'm over here looking at Vinny after he fucking said that.
The bad kryptonite.
Yeah, no, dude, you don't remember? Because there's memes of it. Him sitting at the bar with like he's got like 5 o'clock shadow and his suit's darker. You got none of this is ringing a bell.
Well,
No.
the meme that I remember seeing of the guy sitting at a bar in a Superman suit drinking was that poor, unfortunate guy that would walk to Hollywood, like in front of Grauman's Chinese theater to try to get people to give him money for taking photos of him in his underwear. I mean, his Superman suit, like that was, yeah, like there's a meme of that poor guy. Like apparently he's like a raging alcoholic, and I don't think he's alive anymore. But it was like he dressed up as Superman and walked Hollywood Boulevard to get the tourists to like take pictures with him, and he'd charge them money. And there's a meme of him sitting at the bar drinking, and I'm wondering if it was to like Inception meme, the meme from Superman 3.
Yeah, go ahead. Here, click that link in the private.
Wait, hang on. Before I do, I want to acknowledge Franchise's comment. He said Green Arrow was just a sub for Batman in the Arrowverse. So is that implying Batman was the Dom?
Jeez.
I know. I went there.
Yeah, and I'm looking at you now like that.
Hang on. Let me share this.
And I was correct. It was 3. Here is the scene of him in the junkyard fighting himself. See, I'm not crazy. Go fuck yourself.
Wait,
Go ahead,
That's
click
it.
the other link.
You've got to do better.
Click the second link and show that one.
Okay.
You remember when he fought like Solar Man or Radioactive
Yeah, that
Man
was
or whatever?
4.
Yeah. No, but like I remember he was fighting himself. I haven't watched these movies since I was younger, so I remember watching this scene and like not understanding what was going on at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And the same thing when Lois Lane died and he decided to spin
Go back
the
in
earth the
time.
other way around and gravity stopped and all these bodies flew out of the atmosphere.
Yeah, he like tried to reverse, like somehow reversing the rotation of the Earth makes things go back in time. That one's a new one.
Right? Like I haven't seen past the God, I don't even know when the last time was I saw the second one. Like I said, the first one I just watched for the first time in at least 10 to 15, maybe 20 years.
Mhm.
But it holds up. I enjoyed it, you know. But I want to go watch the rest of them, and I want to watch 4. No matter how bad it is, I'll watch it, baby. I'll do it.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to that actor. That guy just like vanished off the face of the earth.
All I know is, yeah, Vinny was right. Vinny was right. I'll admit when I'm wrong. Vinny was right.
Tony the Giant.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
And that had to, I still remember like me and my cousin were watching TV and like Kurt Loder with MTV News or whoever on MTV News came on and talked about fucking Christopher Reeves fell off the horse, dude. That's what, like, I felt bad for that guy, man. Like,
Yeah, he suffered.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Dude, and then you had that piece of shit Shatner sitting there making fun of him on fucking television shows. And see, if you knew how to actually ride a horse properly, that wouldn't have happened. It's like, wow, Shatner, you're an evil cocksucker.
Do you remember the last movie Christopher Reeves did where he's in the wheelchair?
No.
Village of the Damned, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't think
Remember he had to block out the little children of the corn from
The
getting
brick
into
wall.
his mind. Yep,
Yeah,
the
his
brick
wife
wall.
died from lung cancer too when she didn't like fucking smoke or anything.
Something like grandmother. Yeah,
I think so. That was kind of we watched Late Night with the Devil, and if you have not seen that yet, I recommend it. It is a fucking excellent movie.
It looks really good.
David Dastmalchian is fucking awesome, and J-Man, who was on with us last night, he met him at a convention and said he's super fucking cool. He's like a very humble, like very cool guy. So yeah, he was fantastic in that movie. It was.
He was the one in the Dark Knight, right? That Two-Face, before he became Two-Face, he grabbed him and Batman had to go save him.
I think
so. He was like the schizo.
Yeah, and he was in Ant-Man. He was the Russian guy in in the gang. Yeah, yep. Yeah, he was, dude. Yeah, he was just fucking great in that. And that's a kick-ass movie too. The end of it, we talked about this. We had a few issues with it. But overall, it's fucking excellent.
Nice.
We really need like a real, and it sucks. Like, you know, Henry Cavill's like a real down to earth person, so they don't want him around. You know, he keeps getting booted off of these franchises when the fans fucking love him.
Oh, you heard about what's happening with Warhammer, right?
I know he's like going to war with them over it. Like they're trying to change source material or something.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I watched one of like, and take this with a big grain of salt, but like, you know how the grifters are on YouTube, but like they're basically saying that like, yeah, he's going to war with Amazon and all this stuff. They're like, he's like, that's not canon. You're breaking shit, blah 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 blah. And he's threatening to leave, or he might have already left. You know, it's not known, but it's like, if I recall, if we did like a rollback, you know, to when this was first announced, and everybody was excited, or at least I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this is cool." My first reaction was, "No, they're gonna fuck him," just like they did with The Witcher.
The sad thing is, too, Hollywood needs more Henry Cavills.
Yep.
You know, and that's like he is Superman, whether he's signed with DC or not. That motherfucker is Superman, and that's what I was gonna mention is like, we need a real Superman movie right now, like how they even said in the Avengers movie. Like maybe right now in these times, a little old-fashioned is what we need. Like we need that hope, you know.
And that's why they don't want to make those Cayenne movies anymore. That's why he was fired, because they said it was
Gunn's pedophile Superman. Like,
yeah. Well, you have a director who's won. And everyone right now, especially geeks and gamers, they're sucking his asshole clean. But he's such a great director. Oh my God, it's gonna be fantastic, dude. The guy's,
let's get you all cleaned up.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. It looks terrible to me. But yeah, Henry's was supposed to be, you know, he was finally gonna get his chance to tell the hopeful Superman story, and it was robbed from him.
No, I feel you, my sketchbook. I mean, it was. Henry Cavill's Superman was definitely divisive, but a lot of that too, and maybe that's why he's so outspoken right now, because he heard the criticism. Like he went along with something once when he knew it wasn't, you know, maybe he realized more than anyone, like Man of Steel wasn't a real Superman movie, or however you want to phrase it, you know, and now he's like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not going to be that guy known to walk into all these different roles and like change shit up, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I were Henry Cavill, I would just say I'm done with Hollywood and make videos of him doing geeky shit, talking about Warhammer, assembling PCs. This is an age where Hollywood is obsolete now.
Yep.
He's fighting, like, he has been labeled difficult to work with. That is a black mark on your record in entertainment. Like, as soon as you get that, your career is fucked. You know, they call it a career limiting move.
Yeah.
You know, he's out. He's never going to rise to what they were pushing him before, you know, this mark was placed upon him, essentially.
Yeah.
So if I were him, and again, you know, take it with a grain of salt, but like if I were him, start a YouTube channel. Start a podcast or something. Do what Joe Rogan did. You know, Joe Rogan opted out of all that shit. The guy's a freaking millionaire. Like, He's made more doing his
people in the world now.
Yeah, eating more with his podcast than he ever did when he was on. What was it? Was it News Radio?
Yeah,
That
News
sitcom?
Radio. Yep.
In stand-up career. Granted, the man is funny. Like, if you actually, when you see him do comedy bits, he's fucking hilarious. But like,
he's okay. I mean, he was never my favorite comedian. He had a couple.
I wouldn't. Yeah, he's not. He's no freaking Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock or anything. But like, in my opinion, though, Henry Cavill's, would especially like the chicks will tune in because he's hot. The dudes will turn in because he's one of us. He's a geek. He knows his shit. I guarantee you, he could be catalyst for a culture change. They're like, oh look, they kicked him off of YouTube because he didn't want to put freaking female custodies in his in his Warhammer army, or said something offensive.
Acting's going away anyway. He may as well here. You want to use my fucking likeness here, but I'm still doing these YouTube videos or whatever, because AI is gonna, dude. In 20 years, we're gonna be making movies from our computers. Like, okay, I want a scene with this guy doing this and that, and then he jumps from the bullet train, and AI is going to be making movie scenes like nothing here in a few years if they're not doing it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you saw like the Terminator thing, and granted, it's mostly just like they're slightly animating stills, but it still looked incredible with how they accomplish, and that's just on a low level.
Yeah.
So yeah, you are not wrong on that.
Well, look at an AI video 2 years ago, a year ago, and you'd be like, "Oh man!" And now we're seeing shit. Now it's like, damn! Like, imagine where they're going to be in 5 years.
Oh yeah,
it's just going to exponentially get better and better and better.
Yeah, it wasn't even a full year. We went from like 12 fingers on one hand to now they're recreating things like you wouldn't believe. And putting all these concept artists out of jobs, but they helped that happen. These morons helped that happen. I'm going back to Henry Cavill for a second though, and this is why like I started covering a little bit of the Deadpool 3 shit, because Ryan Reynolds is in the same position. They are trying to fuck him over and trying to fuck his career over this movie, and it could probably be the last time he's ever going to play the character. Because he is going to war with Disney on multiple things. He's won a couple battles, and they've won a couple as well. Sadly, like they cut out the ultra violent war scenes, and they're reshooting them now. But Henry Cavill, he was pulled in. They said his cameo is now officially going to be in there, and it was to replace something that was truly fucked up. Yeah, I was going to cover it on Friday, but we can talk about it a little bit now. There was going to be a Wolverina character who destroys every Wolverine in this particular scene. They had storyboards and everything, and Ryan fought like hell to remove it, and he won.
Good for him.
Yeah, he said this ain't happening. This destroys this entire act of the film, and it's absolutely idiotic.
It's like Disney's one glimmering hope right now is this movie, and they're trying to fuck it up.
Oh, because
look at that. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, what is it? The Force is female. It's like they were doing the Forces or the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe really is the MCU. They were going to do gender bending characters of almost all the X-Men, but just the male characters. There was going to be a female Cyclops. There was going to be a whole bunch of stupid shit like that. And they said, no, this is against everything that we're trying to do. We're making this movie for the fans. And what you people are trying to force in there, he goes, I won't do promotion on this film. He kept putting stipulations in there, and they were fighting back and forth. So they removed it entirely. And Chris, you're going to love this. They brought back Kelly Hu, they said, for Lady Deathstrike.
Oh, nice.
So she's the replacement, and Henry Cavill, we don't know what character he's playing yet. He's also the replacement for that stupid fucking scene.
Well, the problem with Marvel and Star Wars and all this stuff is, like, I'm partially convinced. I mean, maybe less so now. I don't know, the whole demoralization propaganda, Marxist, the whole Yuri Bezmenov thing. But a lot of it is also just out of touch executives that are just trying to grow their markets. And what they don't understand is when they reach out and turn properties that are initially targeting boys into these lifestyle brands that appeal to women, it completely like a souffle, it just pulls out the entire core, and it expands out, and then it just collapses inward because girls don't like this shit. And I'm not saying that as in there aren't outliers, or some girls actually like tuned in or whatever. There's not enough of them to sustain these formerly boy brands. Like lifestyle brands don't work when mom is buying Billy a fucking Kamala Khan backpack. He's gonna get beaten up on the bus.
Yeah, boys. It's the same thing with Star Wars. It's a boy brand. It always has been. It's fine to have separate brands for girls and boys. You don't need to feminize fucking everything. I know that women hold a large share of the buying market. They do. But you have to realize that it's okay to tailor specific products to them. And you can have aspects of these brands that are, as far as marketing goes, for, I would say, merchandise more so than outright film and television, because we've seen that doesn't work. And it's not because they're female led, it's because they're females who are poorly written. And the marketing leading up to these movies is divisive in nature to stir up controversy, to get people talking, like the YouTube grifters, about these things on the air 9,986,000 times.
Popcorn bucket.
Get my popcorn bucket.
Have you noticed that, like, boy brands, okay, and I use that term very vaguely, but like these franchises that are generally designed to appeal to boys, Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel Comics, all this shit, are generally well accepted universally. Like there is a small pocket of girls that like really enjoy male orientated properties. There are girls that dressed up can be Mara Jade, all that stuff. Or are totally fine with a masculine, Logan, or Cyclops being a guy, all that shit. But yet, the opposite is not as true. I mean, you got Bronies, which is a girl property that a bunch of boys are interested in, but the general.
Is Chris roboting really bad?
He's roboting, yes.
Okay.
Basically, the same will not work. For girl brands. I mean, you have Bronies.
Girls are doing what guys were doing 20 years ago. Like they'll have their things like Barbie while we're playing Nintendo, but 20 years later, now they're into video games or they're into Star Wars.
But there's this thing called female hypoagency. There's this excellent visual.
I think there's a cream for that.
No, basically what it is when a guy goes into an environment like a hostile environment, like the arcade or whatever, he puts his quarter up on the window or whatever and endures the hazing ritual of being insulted while he's getting his ass kicked at a video game. But when he comes out the other end, he then is accepted by the group. They do that in construction sites all the time. They'll make the new guy go and get like go to the hardware store to get a bunch of random shit like was it some of them were absolutely hilarious. It was like I can't remember any of them off the top of my head. I hate when this happens. Senility sucks. But basically it's like they make him get like these absurd things.
Yeah.
What's up?
Blinker fluid.
Yeah, blinker fluid, or like 15 feet of meter pipeline or whatever, something like the guys at the hardware store are laughing. Yeah, but they, and then when they come back, they get like, and then they get they get a slap on the back, and then somebody buys them a beer, and eventually they get taken under the wing. Well, women can't do that, and by average, women go into an environment and expect the environment to change for them. So that's why there's so much hostility in the video game environment, in the Star Wars, and all this stuff, because they come into this environment and suddenly they're like, what do you mean there's people shit talking me? What do you mean there's people telling me they're going to grape me or whatever? Like, dude, this happens in every like it's part of the ritual. Like, and it sucks for it could go too far. There is a point where it's like, wow, that is kind of asinine. But more or less, you take the bants and you give as good as you get, and you gain some level of acceptance and respect. Unfortunately, a lot of women are like, no, this environment needs to change. Game developers put net nanny on games and kick and ban these people.
Mm-hmm.
And that ruins these, and it chases them away. And then it builds the resentment. So people have seen the patterns where they're like, oh, remember what happened when girls took over, MMOs or whatever, and now we can't we can't have any chat. We have to use third-party chat or we'll get our accounts.
It's like I said earlier. It's more about that divide, and they did it to our entertainment. They did it to everything. Yeah, because that's what it's about. It's about demoralizing people, and nothing's supposed to be hopeful anymore.
Yeah, and it's like out of touch execs. They don't like. I don't know how you can be a business person, make a business decision, lose the company of almost billions in the case of Disney, and be like, wow, maybe it's the customers that are wrong, not me. You know what I mean? Like, you just lost billions, dude. Like, your whole point here is in this company to make money, and you lost money.
It's the third generation squandering the wealth, man.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Like,
that wealth would be spinning in his grave if he knew what became of his legacy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, the people he fought against ended up taking over his company. So.
Yep. Yeah, you remember when he was like branded all of the this, that, and the other things, and it turned out it was just a Bolshevik communist smear campaign.
Yep, the same thing they brand any of us who don't roll over and die.
Yep.
Yo, real quick, just bringing it back to Henry Cavill being in Deadpool, and this, like, I'm not familiar with the Marvel character that much, but that's like, that was the first Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah,
like with Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
Annette Bening.
That's
what? Wait, Annette Bening they made.
She was Marvel. Yeah, she was Marvel.
I would. That's what I would. If they're doing all this multiverse shit, that's what I would make Henry Cavill, just because he was Superman too.
Yeah.
So make him Marvel and make him the guy Captain Marvel. Just I don't know.
I heard rumors of Sentry too. That's another one. Oh yeah, Sentry was almost Asian, and then that was what's his name, the one who voices Invincible.
Oh,
yeah. Dead. What the hell was his name?
Wait, which guy from why? I've never seen Invincible.
Glenn.
He's talking about Metzger.
Oh, Stephen Yeun.
Stephen Yeun. He was going to be.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was. No, yeah, Stephen Yeun was going to be Sentry until Robert Kirkman, the creator of Walking Dead, released the photo online. He sent it to him. He was, you got to check it out. I'm being fitted for the suit, and because of that, he got fired off of it. Breach of contract and everything. And what was the best thing that could have happened, because no one wanted to see Sentry as an Asian guy. Sentry is a guy with blonde hair. He's an American, like, Captain America looking guy with long blonde hair, not an Asian guy.
Wait. Did you say Captain America? He's black. What are you talking about?
No,
I heard they are struggling with New World Order. Like, I heard that. Like the test screenings have been abysmal.
Yep. Oh yeah, they're being the reshoots they have to do. Oh, it's hilarious. This is what happens. You force shit in there that nobody wants. That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And going back for a second too, even this Deadpool movie, it's not Deadpool 3. It's literally just Deadpool Wolverine. The third movie was something that they're talking about right now, and that's what he says, that it might not even happen with the direction that Marvel's going in. So should they do that, they completely blew off their own foot.
Well, the third movie was supposed to be X-Force. Like, they set up, they had that joke in Deadpool 2 where that first X-Force died. But then the actual X-Force was at the end. When it had fucking Deadpool and Colossus and Cable, and he was calling them his family. Like,
yeah, but again, it looks like that, that something along those lines was still supposed to happen, because A third installment was is still supposed to be in the works, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen because of these morons. They can't help themselves. It's about destruction. It's about the agenda. It's about the partnership they have with our government, allegedly.
I cannot wait to not see the fucking female Silver Surfer played by the little redneck bitch from Ozark.
See, you didn't believe me until I pulled it up.
Oh my god. I've been reading those Silver Surfer comics and I'm like, this is gonna be so fucking bad, dude. Like, this is gonna be so bad. Then those movies are gonna lose, and it's great too because, like I said, I'm not watching them. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing it. Like I said, this is the most pop culture we've talked on this channel in months now, which is it's nice to not have to cover that anymore. You know, all I get to talk about is fucking horror and wrestling, and I'm much more sane now. But yeah, every now and then it is nice because like I go back and like I don't even look at the trades anymore.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, the only horror I just look up horror related stuff. If it's anything else, I'm like, I don't fucking care anymore.
It's depressing, man. Like,
it
when you
is.
cover pop culture, there's nothing to look forward to, nothing good going on. Here's what next Monday I'm going to Studio Ghibli Fest. They're showing Castle in the Sky in the theaters. And other than that, like
nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I think Tommy just went to the Transformers thing. It was I think like the first 4 episodes, and then there's a whole like interview with Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. Like they're sitting at a round table talking about the things like that. I mean, it sounds awesome.
Yeah,
You know?
and
'Cause, again,
that alone is kind of depressing, though. It's like the only things to really look forward to are from the past.
Yeah, 40
like,
years old. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? It's wild how they destroyed everything.
Yeah, and it took time too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh,
I mean, they've been boiled frog.
Yeah. Dude, remember how everyone was so damn excited with those fucking first couple of Marvel movies? Like, dude, we had like almost 10 years of fun movies that everyone seemed to enjoy.
Yeah.
And then they just completely went, nah, fuck all this.
And
Yeah, you can't snap the neck if the stool isn't high enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, they did it at the worst time because they peaked with like Infinity War and Endgame, and you knew there was going to be a drop off.
Oh yeah.
But not only was there a drop, they decided to smack the agenda all over it. I mean, there were hints of it here and there, but I mean, they went full bore after Endgame.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, man?
Yep. We knew it was going to happen. Sony's the only reason why that Spider-Man movie was watchable and was actually pretty decent. It's because Sony, they had the majority of creative on that, and now you can see what's going to happen with the rest of this shit. Every movie since has been garbage and no one wanted to watch. And, you know.
Well, what Disney, unfortunately, like a lot of these myopic businessmen don't understand, is that entertainment media franchises are like agricultural fields. Like when you're plowing fields, you rotate your crops. You know, you've got 3 or 4 fields that, you know, you let one stay fallow or whatever for a season. And then, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Mm-hmm.
What they should have done was just called it quits after Endgame, let it cool off for a period, and dug into their other franchises. And it's like, hey, you came for, you know, like the Marvel thing ended on a good note. But unfortunately, short-sighted businessmen want to, you know, bleed it until it's no longer profitable, and then it ends up just killing the franchise. And what they could have done instead was did what the original trilogy of Star Wars did. You know, they made 3 movies, then they waited like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't they have done that with Endgame? You know, right after they concluded with Endgame, but wait like 5-10 years, and then
there's an argument there too, because again, Star Wars, they had fucked up and they waited too long and they told the wrong story. Because I'm sorry, the episode 1, 2, and 3 had some problems, had some big problems. It was by the third one. The third was the best out of those. But yeah, he fucked up because you should have told the other part of the story. You shouldn't have gone back and been like, oh yeah, this is the Joker's origin story. No one wants to see that. And they did that with Vader, and they fucked it up.
Yeah, well, in all honesty, prequels in general are a recipe for failure because there's no stakes. Everybody already knows the outcome because they've seen the original films. So what they could have done was they could have plundered their expanded universe novels and the mind, like that. We could have gotten a smoking hot red RA becoming Luke's down and then becoming his freaking wife. And instead of getting the derpy looking freaking what was it, Kylo Ren, we could have gotten like Ben Skywalker and the Jason Solo and that whole story. And I think because those books were that fresh, sure, you would have had to pay royalties, but those were really good books.
Yep.
Like that was a gold mine. And instead they waited, they got the Disney thing in there and they're like, now we want to put our own stink on it.
Yeah, but
they ruined it.
That was a multifaceted thing as well, because I know like Lucas has problems. He's got mental issues. I knew somebody who got to read Frank Darabont's script of the actual Indiana Jones 4, not the Crystal Skull shit.
Oh, God, that was awful.
Yeah, and Frank Darabont from the original 6 episodes of Walking Dead, like Shawshank Redemption, all that. That guy wrote a masterpiece of a film that George Lucas was super jealous of.
Really?
Of course he was.
And that's why that movie didn't happen, and he fought with them. And then they went, no, we're doing rewrites. And they did this whole alien thing. There was never supposed to be aliens in it. It was never supposed to be the Crystal Skull. It was going to be a different tale. And it was a proper send-off to all the characters. And at the time, too, they said even Sean Connery was contemplating coming out of retirement just to do a scene in that movie.
Wow.
And they fucked it all up because George had an ego on him. Yep.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
My sketchbook said I attended the table read of the Transformers 40th anniversary screening. It was tonight. That sounds like fucking fun.
Yeah, that's what Tommy, I believe that's what he went to. It's the first 4 episodes, and then there was like, the table reading with Welker, Peter Cullen, and I think like 2 other people. I'm pretty sure that was the same thing he was going to.
What's his name? Was Alan Oppenheimer in that too?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because he was, he did Skeletor. I can't remember if he was in Transformers 2. Funny story about him. I don't know if you guys have seen the video. It was an interview with him from some years ago. And he told a story about being in a country. It was a South American country where they, spoke very little English. And he says he's in a taxi and he's going to a convention or something. And he said something and the guy recognized it just by his speaking voice and said Skeletor. And so Oppenheimer fucking started talking like Skeletor to him, and he had the cabbie rolling, I guess, or some shit. It was fucking funny. He ended up doing like the Skeletor voice for the cab driver.
That's awesome.
But it's such a universal language, these characters, and especially, iconic one. Like you hear a lot about, certain characters, but Skeletor never gets as much love as he should, honestly.
Yeah.
Just the one-liners in the cartoon. I'm strictly talking about the cartoon right now, not like the mini comics or anything like that.
Yeah.
The comics. But yeah, the fucking portrayal of him and just the voice. And I don't want to hear anything about the Mark Hamill one. Like, well, I don't.
No.
Miss me with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have the actual proper voice of him, and you go to Mark Hamill. Like, what are they all fucking brain dead?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Have a good night, franchise.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Man.
My sketchbook. Hope you had fun at that table read tonight. That sounds like a fucking blast.
Hey, what were you guys talking about with Mark Hamill voicing what?
Oh, the Skeletor voice actor, Alan Oppenheimer. And then I said, he's more of an iconic character than I think Skeletor. He doesn't get enough credit as like a main like A-tier villain.
Yeah.
Curse you, He-Man!
You bumbling oafs, come on.
He's become like, not only is he great at that, but Skeletor has become like a meme legend.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
if it weren't for his voice, it may not hit it. Like, I don't know. I read those Skeletor memes and that, Alan Oppenheimer? I read them in his voice, dude, which makes them great.
It's the same thing with Kevin Conroy. When you read a comic book, like you're hearing his voice as Batman.
Yeah. Well, have you ever heard the original Skeletor voice? Dude, I think you can find it on YouTube. There is a animated like mini-sode, like a pilot that wasn't done by Filmation. I think it might have been commissioned out by Mattel or whatever. And it was like the He-Man, not Filmation's He-Man, because like you know how Filmation rewrote a lot of He-Man lore or whatever.
Yeah.
And Skeletor sounds like this.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's wild.
That would have been
I'll try
jarring.
I'll try to find it.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's nuts. I never heard that.
This is good right here. Chris Latta, Starscream and Cobra Commander never got the recognition he deserved. That's another one. The Cobra Commander voice is fucking amazing.
Hell yeah.
See, Mark Hamill, like when I know I just mentioned Castle in the Sky, but when I was first watching Castle in the Sky, it's the English dub. I hear the villain like and talking and shit. I'm like, God, he sounds just like Mark Hamill. So I had to search the cast, and sure as shit, it was Mark Hamill. Like the dude isn't. It was the same voice he uses for the Joker.
He did the same thing with Hobgoblin in the Spider-Man cartoon. It was the same fucking voice.
Yeah, it became this weird collective internet thing. Like, oh, Mark Hamill's the best Joker, and he's so good. Like, he's not like. Look, I liked Luke Skywalker. I like Star Wars, but the guy really isn't that talented. He's not, and his resume proves that. Like, the guy has had one fucking actual movie role his entire life besides Cockknocker and Jay and Silent Bob. Like,
now he's just a cocksucker.
For most of Mark Hamill's career, when I think about him, I think about, God, whatever happened to him. Like, I thought he was going to be on top of the world after Star Wars. And, like, he sat obsolete for like 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, anyone could have fucking voiced the Joker in Batman the Animated Series. And
well, they had Tim Curry.
Yeah.
And Tim Curry recorded 3 episodes, I believe, and then they had Mark come in and redo them. Because I will give him that. I think his best role was not Luke Skywalker. I think his best role was voicing the Joker, even though it was the same stupid voice of everything. But that one was the one time it fit so perfectly.
But I would be willing to wager money they could have gotten a more talented actor to go in there and do at least as good of a job as him.
Yeah,
not,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Yeah.
Well, look at hold on. There's another voice actor who ended up redoing his voice for Batman Origins, and it sounds exactly like Mark Hamill, but younger, and the performance was better. Troy Baker, he did it. He was the original Joel in The Last of Us.
Yeah, Troy Baker's in like everything. He's like Nolan North, man.
Yep. Well, they had a fucking YouTube channel together.
Hell yeah.
Before
or whoever fucking spoke as Ganondorf, but he speaks as a bunch of different roles too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What
You're gonna check out the original. Yeah, check that out. 1981. So that's before the toys were like before Filmation. Remember, like I think it was like 83 or whatever when the show came out.
Before I was born.
And you know what's awesome is I still have this Castle Grayskull.
Hell yeah! Look at that Castle Grayskull. That is not the Castle Grayskull we got as kids.
Mm-mm. This one's
Look
bigger.
at the roof. Look at Point
detailed.
Dread.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like that is a better sculpt than what we got as kids.
Yeah, that was the original, more boxed out SUVs before they became smaller and rounded.
Yeah.
Everything's better at first. Like,
Yep.
Remember, like when HP computers were built like tanks and not like shit.
Yeah.
Well,
here we go.
If you recall, okay, yeah,
I want to play.
Really open up a kid's imagination. Its own legend.
He-Man! Skeletor is his enemy.
It's the Masters of the
Notice
Universe.
He-Man has
collection.
the axe.
And for my kids, the legend begins here with Castle Grayskull. It holds the powers of the universe.
He-Man, Skeletor has captured Castle Grayskull. We must stop his evil power. To Grayskull!
Defeat He-Man's forces, but leave him to me.
Here I
Whoa.
am, Skeletor.
This looked great.
Yeah.
But Castle Grayskull is safe with us. Nothing's safe while Skeletor is out there.
And so the legend continues in this Masters of the Universe collection. And in the imagination of my kids, look for it. It's new from Mattel.
That guy was a big smoker. You could hear
Kids
it.
don't even know. Like, I've touched on this on Vinny's streams before.
What's that?
But it's healthy for children to grow their creativity and imagination by playing with toys like that, rather than just staring at a screen or SpongeBob. You know, like, that's healthy to fucking put together wars and have these storylines going on in your head, and like,
Yeah.
fucking taking your He-Man from here and taking your Boba Fett from over here, and what if these two met? I mean, you're learning, and I don't think enough credit goes towards that. Like, yeah,
You're right.
I
'cause
miss those days.
Dude,
Yeah,
we
man.
had it so much better.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
those,
God,
it's
yeah.
that creativity that keeps the world going. So when you take that away, I get the boys in their toys, like even like that downplaying of it. That's stupid, because without imagination, we won't have any inventions. You don't have anything else. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
that's
It
why
all
writing.
connects.
Look at writing now. Like all the millennial hipsters that are writing TV shows and movies and shit.
Yep.
They don't have any real lived experiences,
Nope.
and they're basically making derivatives of derivatives. Like they're like, well, I really liked that movie. I'm gonna write like that movie, and it's like, you know, Hemingway didn't have movies when he wrote his magnum opus. You know, that albatross was something he saw. You know, the Marin, like these are things that like you're saying, it's an important to have a life lived, and it's not lived when you're staring at it through a mobile phone screen.
Well, and look, everyone takes inspiration from everything. It's okay to, man, I really like this movie. I want to like tell it in my own way. There's no more my own way. It's, you know, okay, let's redo Star Wars with black chicks. You know,
Yeah, that's a derivative. Yeah,
And they all have to sound like Tony Stark.
yeah.
They all have to be snarky. You know, it's that same bullshit we see everywhere. How many freaking like lead actors or comedy movies all did that same shit? They bastardize and rape their own stuff in their own movies as well. Thor became Tony Stark. Everyone became Tony Stark.
Yep.
And nobody wants to see that. And they wonder, oh, why did it suck so bad? Oh, wait, that's why. We're all
The
trying
thing
to...
is, Tony Stark never sucked acting like that. You know, like Robert Downey Jr. had that charm, but Thor, it just turned his movies fucking stupid.
Yeah. I didn't watch the last one. I have no desire to.
No.
Instead
It's all
of
shit.
playing up to these people's natural charm, which is what Iron Man did for Robert Downey Jr., it's, oh, well, this worked, make everyone do it. Like,
yeah, everybody's
and these are the people claiming diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
God
yeah,
damn, man.
homogeneity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diversity just means no white men. That's all it means.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Like they don't actually want like diversity, which I don't think anybody has an issue with. I mean, come on. I worked in the tech sector. Every white guy and every Jewish guy had an Asian girlfriend. Or clearly, clearly, there's no problems there. And most suburban kids growing up are listening to black rap. Like, again, this isn't this is the diversity. It's the forced crap. And like you said, where it's basically let's remake a movie and just make everybody black in it. Like that's where it starts making people go, nah, I don't think I'm going to pay money for this.
Yeah, that's not going to work for me, brother.
Am I still roboting?
No, you're
not right now. No.
It's villain. My thing is this though, like I really enjoyed the first Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's the problem. These people aren't creative enough to like, damn, look at that. That was cool. But what I'm gonna do instead? It's ooh, look, that worked. Do that. Like, I don't know, man.
No, you're right.
Like, again, you have kids, take the fucking phone out of their hand, get them away from the internet.
Is everyone breaking up?
Oh, okay, that's not me.
Nope, that was Tony.
Okay, shit. Can you hear me now?
Yep, yeah.
You got shut on by Chris. So, continue.
Just take the phone out of your fucking kid's hand, throw them some fucking toys, and tell them when I come back here in 30 minutes, there better be an all-out war going on, motherfucker.
You're gonna make this nice fight, and you're gonna like it.
But to be fair too, a lot of the we talk about these millennial writers, these hipsters, can't write. A lot of them are women too, and we all know that study where boys play with Batman, they become Batman. Girls play with Batman, and Batman's baking muffins and fucking going shopping. Batman becomes the girls. So I mean that has a big.
Yeah, that's the hypo agency, that whole thing where they adapt the environment to them instead of adapting to the environment.
Yeah. Yep. So you hire all these fucking strong, independent women in the name of fucking diversity. These people that never gave a fuck about Star Wars or Marvel or Batman or any of it. And I mean, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and it's also planned. They got hired because they needed to destroy all of our entertainment. So that
it's all gone now.
Yeah, that's why we become these mindless puppets and zombies. Yeah, there's crazy shit I'm going to get into on my stream, but well, we're actually doing Cooties. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go watch it on Tubi on Friday. We're going to be talking about that movie, but I also want to cover a couple other things. So, yeah, we'll see.
Oh, I saw Godzillionaire's comment here, and I wanted to touch on that real quick. He says that's a nice segue though. He says, "Here, kids, here's some dolls. They'll make AEW storylines," which is funny because
it's fucking bullshit.
I was joking around about the Eddie Kingston injury earlier, and it says he's been replaced in their Double or Nothing by Chester Podesta is replacing him, Darby Allin. So Draven can only get so erect. So these are the dolls and they're trying to do like an NWO thing with the Young Bucks, Okada, and Jack Perry, and it's fucking hilarious to hear it get shit on. Like, I haven't watched any of it, but just listening to like Cornette and Russo and all these other guys talk about it, and I see Marky D123 the Hawk just did a video on it. I'm about to check that out after the show. But that's we could have had actual wrestling competition, but instead we don't.
Kevin Nash was cool. Say what you want about a 40-year-old coming out to rap with a fucking bandana on his head these days, but back then Kevin Nash was fucking cool. Scott Hall was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan wasn't as cool, but he was all of our fucking heroes at one point. And something worked about the three of them being together. That was a moment in time. And again, back to, well, that worked, do that. Instead of coming up with something like bold and innovative, they're like, okay, well, Luke Perry's kid, he'll be Kevin Nash. Like, no, that doesn't fucking work. This Asian guy, this Japanese guy that looks like every other fucking Japanese guy, he'll be Scott Hall.
Who was that again? You said Yuta? Who was the?
That's Okada.
Same shit.
It's hang on, let me see if I can pronounce his name.
They all look the same.
Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada. Yeah, bless me. But yeah, dude, I couldn't pick this guy out of a lineup, bro. Like, I don't know who the fuck Okada is. The only way I know is I've seen him on a couple of the shows we watched before we quit watching it. Like, but I mean, Bryan Danielson is an FTR, so it's it'll be Darby Allin, Danielson, and FTR versus the Bucks, Perry, and the Coochie Man Okada.
It's like they were walking out of WWF and showing up on WCW as a complete separate. Like, who cares about the Young Bucks?
Nobody.
Jack fucking Perry. They're like, they all combined way as much as Kevin Nash's leg, dude. It's not cool. It's not. There's no sympathy when they're beating on Tony Khan, who's a fucked up wayward boy who, never developed social skills. Like,
no,
God, it's so bad.
And now he gets to throw away millions of dollars of Shad's money.
Yeah, Tony Khan's kids are gonna have to see this one day and be like, Dad.
Whoa, bro! You're assuming he's actually gonna fucking have sex with somebody, and
I think he was. Wait a minute, hold on.
You can't have kids packing fudge.
Wait. To be fair, Tony, you meant he was gonna adopt kids, right?
He will have kids one day. He will. I don't know how. Somehow
he's going to an island. He's gonna get them.
He's gonna get some designer kids, like a lot of the hip rainbow people are.
He's gonna go to an island with John Cryer, and they're gonna pick up a couple.
Island boys.
He's gonna kidnap Sky Blue and have.
No, we're gonna kidnap Sky Blue.
Yeah, we're gonna liberate her from.
I mean, allegedly in a video game.
His kids one day, he's gonna die, and they're gonna be like, "Let's go back and relive Dad's legacy," and they're gonna make it through like 3 episodes of Dynamite and be like, "Fuck, man."
Well, it's a pet project, dude. It's a vanity project. It's not like
he's being too kind.
Imagine what team does he own? The Jacksonville Jaguars. Imagine how they're fucking making fun of him in that locker room.
Oh, they are, bro. They're making fun of him and his neck brace at the fucking draft, trying to play that shit off like it was a shoot. Like, oh my God. And he didn't even acknowledge it. He just wore it. You know what I mean?
Looked around.
Yeah. Because you haven't even heard of a story of, oh, look, we have so-and-so from the Jaguars that are in the audience. Like, they don't even have tickets to the damn event, or if they gave them to him, they didn't even want to go.
No, it's not like
it's Okada. Like, American people don't give a fuck about that. I'm sorry, but they don't.
Yeah.
Only weird neckbeards who like live, shit, and breathe wrestling, but are too lazy to actually try it out. They're the ones that care about. Like, you're never.
Okay, Tony, you all right?
He's
giving himself an aneurysm.
hate humanity so bad.
I know, bro. I have the same feeling when it comes to comic books and the creators working in those fields. I'm with you, so I
let the black pills rain from the sky.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, you look at it like I ran a promotion, a small one, and it failed miserably financially, and it was fucking. It's a fucking bitch to do. It just most of them do fail within the first year or two. It's difficult to draw money. I mean, here we go. We'll show this. There we go. I got a new one for Draven.
Even have WWE just normal people are looking like. It's so bad. It's so like he set out to be the competition to WWE, and now it's like really like I'd rather watch Impact. Like,
Yeah,
at least they've proven they can fucking survive. Like, Jesus.
Isn't that usually how it works? It's the people who always claim we're going to replace them, or they openly say, yeah, we're going to have a major, we're the major competition. It's usually the ones that are so vocal like that always fail.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, yeah, we just have this awesome talent, come watch it. It's no, they want to have a back and forth kind of war nonsense. And
it's a revolution. Like, no,
Dude,
you're not.
They could work together. I mean, look at, there's money to be made if you promote right. And that's the thing, is it's not Vince anymore, bloodthirsty, I have to own everything. WWE acknowledges other promotions now. They acknowledge their talents pasts in other promotions. Those constraints are off the announcers now. They're able to talk about it now. And I've heard a lot of the bigger guys, the Bischoffs and the Russos and the Cornettes, talking about the use of like basically the insider terms, on commentary, which I mean, I don't think commentators should be doing, there's certain things they shouldn't be doing. I mean, I don't care if like Pat McAfee says, holy shit, or son of a bitch, in the heat of the moment, because one thing I'll give McAfee credit for is his inflection and his exuberance on commentary. It's refreshing, and for everything that he does wrong, standing up and doing the yeet dance. Although I acknowledge that even though I'm not a big Jey Uso fan, right now he's drawing money. He's not a main eventer. He should never be a world champion because he's just not that good. He's just not that good in the ring, The gimmick's over now, but it's going to fade. And when it does, what are you going to be left with? That's why
brother.
they need, there's money to be made there. It's just, it's booking it right. And right now WWE is doing certain things right that the other company can't do because there's nobody steering the fucking ship.
Yeah. It's just going to crash into a wall.
Yeah. My sketchbook hit it right. He said Tony Khan should have stayed the money guy, then hired a showrunner. The founders don't know how to run a show. They were independent. They just know how to set up matches.
Yeah.
Yep. Khan can't even set up matches.
No.
Dude, I would have liked, like, honestly, like, because we've got somebody with that much money, they really should have created a show like a sports center.
They really should have.
What?
Like a sports center. Had you guys talk. Okay. They tried that in the for the what was it, the Saturday Night Wrestling thing or whatever, where like before the intro, before the sizzle or whatever, they had like, why should you give a shit about the show you're about to watch? And they had like the little it's where it's like, hey, I'm calling you out, like, give me an AEW. You got two guys sitting at a desk like Sports Center or whatever. You've got so-and-so's on the scene right now talking with so-and-so. Freaking screen comes up. You see them do their little fucking promo or whatever, goes back. And then like earlier this week on our dark matches, so-and-so got freaking glassed and by an audience member. Here's some of the footage. Bam, there you go. And now, we hear that like have these commentators. You need really skilled commentators. Talk up your wrestlers. Give us a show. Give us a storyline. So-and-so has beef with so-and-so. And it's about to blow over, man. I can't wait for tonight's match. It's going to be explosive. Speaking of which, let's go down to ringside, see how so-and-so's doing. Hi, I'm a hot chick that they hired me and gave me a mic. I'm with, two wrestlers that you should give a shit about. They're about to kill each other. Like give me that.
Yeah, I really, I felt you going there. Like, it's going to be an explosive night. Over to you, Renee.
But like they don't do that. It's literally just you tune in. There's a couple of random matches, and there might be a little bit of storyline. Like some of the ladies have some pretty cool storylines, but like a lot of it is just random match, random title match, and commentary that is almost entirely forgettable.
Yeah.
Like it's like background noise. You don't even hear it. Like when I heard Heenan call Flying Burrow, I lost my shit.
Domo arigato, Mr. Chris Roboto.
You know what it is? It's your background. Because when I've
the
been,
animated background.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
All
it
right.
is. I think that's what's.
Let me change
It's flooding our bandwidth for some reason. But yeah, just the. I don't even. What was it? What was I talking about? I totally forgot.
The build up that.
Yeah, the fact that it's just random matches and shit, and that the commentators are all they're all just background noise and nobody gives a shit. But when you had Heenan, say that Santana's body splash or whatever was the flying burrito, like I freaking I was laughing my ass off listening to Heenan just jab the guy in the ring the whole time.
Oh yeah,
the whole match. Lawler did it very well, but I think Heenan's the key on that. I mean, it was him, Jesse Ventura, and Lawler. Those were like the last really good commentators.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, after that, it pretty much went downhill because all the commentary just got homogenized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where it's at now.
Yeah.
But it's not good. Like I said, I wanted AEW to be good. I wanted to enjoy it, and it just got to the point where it was unenjoyable and unwatchable by all metrics. And the ratings prove that. And the idiots that say the ratings don't matter, well, they fucking don't understand how this works at all.
I don't know. Why don't you tell me? Listen, Tony Khan doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm from Minnesota, and down there, up there, we know what we're doing. Not like in Baja. That's why I'm coming back to America. Straighten out Tony Khan.
Tony Khan, bro. Tony Khan. Is Jesse from Little Mogadishu? I mean Minneapolis.
Holy shit, man.
Jesus. But no, folks, that's we're gonna take it home here. Tony, you still here? We'll wait till Tony comes back.
He's got some dogs out there.
I'm right here.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it. It's Tony the Giant.
I'm the Giant.
This is before Tony went to the black with the two straps. This is the old one shoulder blue strap.
Yep. I was gonna turn it green and call him the Jolly Green Tony the Giant.
God, imagine him like pummeling the shit out of you and just delivering his like shit talking to you in a very like placid monotone voice.
With his arms crossed the whole time.
Yeah, he's just stomping you. He's like, "Yeah, why don't you get up, kid? What's wrong with you? Come on, get up, loser."
You're a fucking disappointment to your entire family. You know that, right? He's stomping. Gently berating you the entire time. Yeah, AEW is also wussified. They don't try and make their audience feel uncomfortable. Their wrestlers are also, oh god, they're very thin-skinned. Like FTR are fucking. Like Dax got into it on Twitter with Bischoff. They're all bit like the Young Bucks are fucking pussies. But I mean, Tony Khan said he feared for his life in that CM Punk thing, and we've seen the fucking video. There was nothing there.
Yeah,
like I've seen that shit happen in locker rooms before. Worse than that.
Did he fear for his back hole?
Oh well, I mean, he fears for that on a nightly basis, but
it's spoken like somebody that's never been punched in the face.
Exactly.
You know, like you say from punching somebody else and you pick it up.
Yeah. Somebody else got locked in a front face lock. I feared for my life. You're a bitch made ass fucking homo, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, we got to make a meme of that. Like whenever something is like, there's a car accident, I feared for my life.
I was afraid for my life. It was great. It's going to be a great show. How much time we have left, Larry? Yeah, it's going to be great. Let's go. Let's hear it, huh? Who's here to see some dynamite, huh? All right. How much time we got, Larry? All right. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Gonna be a great show. Greatest show ever. Great show. Till the next great show. Shut up, Tony. Like, I was listening. I can't remember who it was. They said the other day, like, I don't know why he comes out on stage like that. Like, why doesn't he come out with like a minute left? Because he doesn't have enough material to fill 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It's painful watching him come out on stage and just fumble through trying to fucking cut a promo, but he can't because he's not a fucking worker. He's not one of the boys. He can't cut a fucking promo because he's a goddamn idiot. Like it's like, dude, it doesn't take much. You just have to have the central theme of what you want to say or convey to the audience, and then just play off the audience. Playing a couple lines and the rest of it, you got to feel out the crowd, because you can write some fucking Shakespearean dialogue and you go out there and start fucking rattling that shit off and they're not fucking eating it up, then you better fucking change gears real fucking quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But again, all he does is that fake kind of, yeah, bro, they're trying to make himself sound tough when he's just...
He does.
He still has his soy juice box in his pocket.
He's got a sippy cup.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got one. Yeah. I didn't have a sippy cup when I was golfing tonight. I was telling Chris off the air. We were, when we took the boy to lessons, my buddy owns the course, so we got over there in the driving range, and first time I swung the clubs in about 20 years, and I knocked a couple 200-yarders, which not too bad. Yeah, it was fun. I'm gonna go retrieve my old school fucking Bagger Vance style clubs and see how good those are, and if not, I'll snag us. I'll just get a driver and a couple other ones.
How'd Trey do?
He did really well. The mosquitoes were fucking terrible. So we went, we did 4 holes tonight on the course, and they're all par 3s, and he shot a 5 on one, which I was kind of impressed with. It was about 130 yards. So
that's great.
Not too bad. He's getting his game off the tee. He's working on that. But man, he got bit up. I felt so bad. He got bit up tonight. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, man, we're gonna mess around. I'll catch malaria. Shit. But we'll wrap her up here with golf talk with Etep. I come in the chat and I hear Pete say 4 holes. It happens. But yeah, I wasn't playing with my putter, but I was whacking the balls tonight. I gotta get some funny pants to wear out there, I think, though.
You can do it.
I will. But guys, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Vinny and Chris, thank you.
Oh yeah, man.
For there was an impromptu thing. We kind of covered the gamut as far as topics go, but thank you to Tony for jumping on. We were just kind of bullshit. I was like, let's stream. Fuck it. Thank you to Godzillionaire for the super chat and Scotsman TV. Thank you, gentlemen. Much appreciated. All of our channel members and everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, gang. My Raw review should be done tomorrow, probably middle of the morning. We'll have that up for you. And it's Raw and SmackDown from last week. And I have a couple more movies I'm working on for the horror review. So tune in. You know the schedule, guys. We love you all. Thank you so much. I'm Etep Okuian from the Place to Be Reviews. We've been here with all these. If we don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and we will catch you on the next one.